Chapter 2006. Darn evil god tribe. Huang Li roared angrily as veins popped out all over his body. Huang Ling, Long Qin, Luo Tianyi, Luo Xiang, Ouyang Wushuang, and company also emitted cold killing intent. Clearly this was the work of the evil god tribe. Wherever the evil god tribe passed, blood flowed like a river, leaving nothing behind. The reason why the evil god tribe killed so many people is to use the smell of blood to conceal their auras, so as to escape our pursuit. Wei Xian gritted his teeth as he clenched his fists tightly. These words made Lu Ming and company's killing intent even stronger. The evil god tribe had killed so many people just to use the smell of blood to conceal their auras, so as to escape their pursuit. Their methods were so cruel that it made one's hair stand on end. Darn evil god tribe. Kill, kill, we must kill all these beasts. Huang Li roared angrily. There was no room for reconciliation between the evil god tribe and them. When both sides met, there was only killing. It's either you die or I die. Wei Xian, can you continue tracking? Lu Ming took a deep breath to calm himself down before asking. These evil god tribe members are very cunning. They massacred the entire city and collected a large amount of blood. Moreover, they separated into a few paths and scattered their blood along the way to deceive us. However, they still underestimated me. As long as you give me some time, I will be able to find the correct direction. Wei Xian said. Alright, let's set off. Lu Ming nodded. The group circled around the city. Wei Xian sensed carefully and after a moment he pointed to the left and led the way. The rest followed. This time, after another half a day, they arrived at the entrance of a hidden valley. There were many mountains here, one after another. It was as if there was no end to them. If they did not have powerful tracking techniques, it would not be easy to find them if they hid here. The evil god tribe is in this valley. Wei Xian said. Alright, Wei Xian, the few of you guard the valley entrance. Lu Ming looked at Wei Xian and a few desolate race members with weaker cultivation levels. Can I join the battle? The alliance leader is my idol. Wei Xian said. 2 months ago he had taken the initiative to find Lu Ming and company. The moment he saw Lu Ming, he said that Lu Ming was his idol. He had joined the Dragon Alliance because of this. In the beginning, Lu Ming was rather speechless. But during this period of time, Wei Xian had already integrated into the team and obtained everyone's approval. However, Wei Xian's cultivation was still a little low. He had just broken through to Great Sage not long ago. Lu Ming didn't want him to take the risk. Your duty at the entrance of the valley is also very important. If any fish escapes the net, you will be responsible for sniping. Lu Ming said. Wei Xian was helpless. He knew that his cultivation was weak, and if he followed them in, he might be a burden to Lu Ming and the others. Thus he nodded and stayed. Lu Ming, Huang Li, Huang Ling, Long Qin, Luo Xiang, Ouyang Wushuang, Luo Tianyi, and Bubbles retracted their auras and walked towards the valley. In the valley, there were at least several tens of members of the evil god tribe gathered together. Some were recuperating while others were cultivating. Enemy attack. The evil god race was very sharp. The moment Lu Ming and the others entered the valley, they were discovered by the evil god race. Several tens of members of the evil god tribe unleashed their auras at the same time, and their gazes swept toward Lu Ming and the others. A few youths kill. When some members of the evil god race saw that Lu Ming and the others were just youths, they immediately roared. Destructive light burst forth from their third eyes, and they charged toward Lu Ming and the others. At the same time, the third eyes of the other members of the evil god race shot out beams of destructive light with astonishing might. The members of the evil god race who could escape here were all experts. At the very least, they were absolute sages. Most of them were quasi-emperors. Kill? Lu Ming and the others shouted. They unleashed their attacks, shattering the beams of destructive light as they charged toward the evil god race. After such a long period of fighting, Lu Ming and the others' strength had improved by leaps and bounds. Almost every one of them had the strength to contend against or even kill an ordinary quasi-emperor. As for Lu Ming and Bubbles, their battle prowess was even more astonishing. With a wave of their hands they killed quasi-emperors. In an instant, more than 10 members of the evil god race were killed by them. The remaining members of the evil god race had extremely ugly expressions. They knew that they had encountered terrifying geniuses. Retreat, retreat. Some members of the evil god race roared, wanting to retreat into the depths of the valley. Bubbles stopped them. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Bubbles. Watch me, chirp chirp. Bubbles pressed down with her small hand. The void fluctuated, and the space formed many shields, enveloping the evil god race within. Boom, boom. The attacks of the evil god race struck the spatial shields. They wanted to charge out but they couldn't break through them at all. Then Lu Ming and the others arrived, and the members of the evil god race were killed one by one, courting death. At this moment an explosive roar came from the depths of the valley, causing the entire valley to tremble. A vast might spread out from the depths of the valley. That was Emperor's might. There was actually an Emperor Realm evil god race member in this valley. No wonder those members of the evil god race wanted to charge into the depths of the valley just now. The expressions of Lu Ming and the others turned somewhat grave. Swoosh. 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 Lu Ming continuously used the primal chaos tribulation finger. Streams of finger energy rushed out, killing all the remaining members of the evil god race. In the next moment a strong wind blew. A tall and burly evil god race member rushed out and landed heavily on the ground. A vast pressure pressed down on Lu Ming and the others as heavy as a mountain. This was a genuine Emperor Realm evil god race member. However, it seemed like he was only an illusionary emperor. He's injured, Wang Ling said. Indeed, half of this evil god race member's body had exploded. There was a layer of flames burning on the wound, giving off sizzling sounds, preventing the evil god race member from recovering. Clearly, this evil god race member had fled here with serious injuries and was recuperating. However, Lu Ming and the others didn't dare to be careless. Even an injured martial emperor was definitely terrifying. Even if I'm injured, I can kill you all. Kill. The evil god race's illusionary emperor shouted. The third eye at the center of his brows shot out a destructive light. Primal chaos tribulation finger. Lu Ming pointed his finger with all his might. A huge finger collided with the other party's light of destruction. Boom. A loud sound rang out, and the primal chaos tribulation finger shattered. However, Lu Ming blocked the destructive light as well. Lu Ming's figure trembled as he moved back. He felt his chi and blood surging. The martial emperor realm is indeed strong, Lu Ming thought to himself. Given Lu Ming's current combat prowess, killing a quasi-emperor would be as easy as taking something out of his pocket. However, he was at a disadvantage after exchanging one move with the other party. Martial emperors were too strong. They had already refined world energy and possessed unparalleled offensive power. The difference between a quasi-emperor and a martial emperor was too great. Lu Ming sighed. However, he didn't know that the other party was even more shocked. It was just the absolute sage. To think that the other party could block one of his moves. This was simply inconceivable. Martial emperors were aloof existences with boundless lifespans. In some places they were called immortal. When facing a martial emperor, those below martial emperor could not resist at all. They could kill them with just a thought. Chapter 2007. Kill. Kill. This brat must die. The evil god race martial emperor roared in his heart. If such an outstanding talent matured, he would be a great enemy of their race. Boundless light burst forth from the evil god race martial emperor's body, and his aura grew increasingly stronger. A huge battle axe appeared in his hand. I'll block him from the front. Bubble will coordinate with me. You guys attack from the back. Lu Ming sent voice transmissions to everyone. His acupoints lit up and 10-odd holy weapons floated out and circled around him. Whoosh. Lu Ming executed the primal chaos tribulation finger again and pointed. A huge primal chaos tribulation finger shot towards the other party. Kill. The quasi-emperor of the evil god tribe hollered as his burly body charged toward Lu Ming. His third eye once again emitted a beam of destructive light. At the same time he brandished his battle axe and charged at Lu Ming. At this moment, Bubble pressed his hands together, and a transparent bubble enveloped the quasi-emperor. At the same time, the surrounding space turned into spatial blades that chopped at the quasi-emperor. Break for me. The evil god race martial emperor roared. His realm energy erupted, and the transparent bubble shook intensely, looking like it would shatter at any moment. At the same time he continuously swung his battle axe, shattering Bubble's attacks. At this moment the attacks of the others arrived as well. A blazing phoenix spread its wings and flew towards the evil god race martial emperor. An immemorial dragonesque elephant stepped on the void and pressed forward. A star and a terrifying sword light charged at the evil god race martial emperor at the same time. Following that, Luo Qianni and Ouyang Wushuang attacked as well. With so many people attacking together, the might was astonishing. The evil god race martial emperor roared and continuously swung his battle axe, breaking apart the attacks. Whoosh! The evil god race martial emperor's third eye shot out another destructive light, shattering the transparent bubble. All of you die. The evil god race martial emperor roared. His third eye shot out a dazzling light. Boundless energy in the world gathered towards that eye. Oh no! Lu Ming's expression changed slightly. At this moment, Bubble executed the space-time laws. Space-time power enveloped Lu Ming and the others, increasing their speed. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In the next moment, more than 10 beams of light shot out of the evil god race's martial emperor's eyes at a startling speed. Fortunately, each of them was enveloped in the law of space and time. Their speed increased sharply, and in a flash they dodged the attack of the light. Lu Ming continuously dodged the attacks of the light. With a wave of his hand, 9 health-suppressing steels appeared and shot towards the evil god race's martial emperor. Prison-suppressing steel. The evil god race's martial emperor exclaimed. His voice contained shock and fear. He brandished his battle axe and slashed at the prison-suppressing steel. Boom, boom. After 9 consecutive explosions, he destroyed 9 of the prison-suppressing monument's phantoms. However, he was also suppressed by the prison-suppressing monument's miraculous powers and was forced to retreat. It is indeed effective. Continue. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. The health-suppressing steel was indeed effective against the evil god tribe. Lu Ming continued to execute the suppressing hell heavenly skill. Shadows of suppressing hell steels appeared and flew towards the evil god tribe's martial emperor. At the same time, Bubble and the others continued to attack the evil god clan's martial emperors. For a time, the evil god race's martial emperor was at a disadvantage. Roar! Boundless talisman scripts spread out from Lu Ming's hand, forming a true dragon that charged at the evil god race's martial emperor. The might of this true dragon was extremely startling. Although the evil god race's martial emperor exploded, it turned into boundless talisman scripts that covered the evil god race's martial emperor, forming a sealing power. In the past, Lu Ming had not only made breakthroughs in his cultivation but also made significant progress in other aspects. Now he could already merge the Sealing Scroll, Illusion Spirit Scroll, and Destruction Scroll together to attack. When the 3 scrolls merged together, their might was extremely horrifying. They had both the terrifying power of destruction and the power of sealing. Furthermore, when the 3 scrolls merged together, Lu Ming's Array Dao laws reached 99% completion. One could say that the might of the 3 scrolls merged together was no weaker than the primal chaos tribulation finger. After all, the evil god race's martial emperor was severely injured, and his combat prowess was greatly reduced. As for Lu Ming and the others, they were all astonishingly strong. Lu Ming's combat prowess was already sufficient for him to fight the other party head-on. Furthermore, Bubble's space-time laws restricted the other party, weakening the other party's combat prowess. The others focused their attacks on the evil god race's martial emperor's wounds, worsening his injuries. Of course, the thing that injured the evil god race's martial emperor the most was the hell-suppressing heavenly art. After exchanging several dozen moves, the evil god race's martial emperor's injuries worsened. His aura was much weaker than before. Destruction, primal chaos tribulation finger. At this moment, Lu Ming circulated all his sacred energy and pointed with his finger at full power. An incomparably huge finger condensed and descended from the sky, pressing down on the evil god race's martial emperor. Furthermore, the surface of this finger not only had the primal chaos laws but also densely packed talisman scripts. This was a trump card that Lu Ming had come up with during this period. He merged the might of the Destruction Scroll with the Primal Chaos Tribulation Finger. The Primal Chaos Tribulation Finger already had terrifying offensive power. Now, with the addition of the Destruction Scroll's power, its might was even more horrifying. This already involved the fusion of 2 types of laws. Although it was not a complete fusion, only a superficial fusion, its might was already extremely terrifying. It had become Lu Ming's strongest killing move. Lu Ming named it, Destruction, Primal Chaos Tribulation Finger. How can it be so strong? The evil god race's martial emperor roared. The might of this finger shocked him and he felt a fatal threat. He found it hard to imagine that an absolute saint could launch such a terrifying attack. I have to block it. The evil god race's martial emperor circulated all his strength and crazily erupted, wanting to block this finger. However, at this moment, another transparent bubble enveloped him. At the same time, the space around him seemed to freeze and crazily press down on him. There was even a terrifying power of time acting on his wounds. This was the power of time acceleration, causing his wounds to worsen. At the same time, the attacks of the others arrived. Lu Ming and the others cooperated seamlessly. Brr. The evil god race's martial emperor roared and chopped down with his axe with all his strength. However, his strength was greatly restricted. The might he could bring out was limited. When the battle axe and the huge finger clashed, there was a terrifying explosion. Wang. The battle axe vibrated. The evil god race's martial emperor could not hold on to the battle axe and was sent flying. The huge finger tapped the evil god race's martial emperor. The powerful force wanted to blast him apart. Boom. The evil god race's martial emperor's body crashed heavily into the valley. The entire valley directly shattered. Everything within a few thousand miles exploded. Countless rocks flew everywhere. The scene was extremely horrifying. This move severely injured the evil god race's martial emperor, who was on the verge of death. Prison suppressing steel suppress. At this moment, Lu Ming's spine lit up. The prison suppressing steel bloodline flew out. Chapter 2008. The two fragments of the hell suppressing steel's bloodline gathered together. At this moment, the two large characters on the two fragments shone brightly. They gave off a startling suppressive force as they pressed down on the evil god race martial emperor. No! The evil god race martial emperor roared in horror. The evil god race martial emperor was already severely injured. Now he struggled to stand up and burst forth with his remaining strength, wanting to block the hell-suppressing steel. Boom. The evil god race martial emperor raised both hands and burst forth with all his strength. However, when his palms came into contact with the hell-suppressing steel, his body trembled violently. The horror on his face intensified. The evil god race martial emperor's body kept exploding. After a few breaths, the evil god race martial emperor's body completely exploded, turning into ashes, leaving behind only a storage bracelet and a battle axe. Lu Ming waved his hand and grabbed the storage bracelet. The others released a long breath. It was impossible to say that they did not feel any pressure when facing a martial emperor. Fortunately, the other party was severely injured earlier, greatly reducing his combat prowess. Otherwise, even if they worked together, they might not be a match for him. A martial emperor was a martial emperor after all. Even a faux emperor was extremely terrifying. Let's recover here first. After patrolling the valley, Lu Ming did not discover anything strange. He planned to recover here first, adjusting his condition to peak condition before returning. Everyone nodded and sat down cross-legged, starting to recover. Lu Ming entered the mountain river diagram and arrived beside the Heavenly Emperor's body. Over the past 2 months, every time Lu Ming killed an evil god race cultivator and obtained a crystal, he would refine the energy of the crystal into the Heavenly Emperor's body. Now the energy stored in the Heavenly Emperor's body exceeded 10%. Lu Ming could now control the Heavenly Emperor's body completely. However, unless he had no other choice, Lu Ming would not use the Heavenly Emperor's body easily. After using it, it would be too difficult to store up that much energy again, requiring a shocking amount of resources. Lu Ming took out the evil god race martial emperor's storage bracelet. In the next moment, a large pile of crystals appeared on the ground. Martial emperors indeed have a lot of resources. Looking at the large pile of crystals, Lu Ming revealed a smile. Bang, bang, bang. Next, Lu Ming activated his cultivation technique, causing a large pile of crystals to explode and be absorbed by the celestial Thearcha's body. After absorbing all the energy from the crystals, the energy stored in the celestial emperor's body reached 12%. I wonder how powerful the celestial emperor's body will be if I control it now. Lu Ming was looking forward to it. This was the physical body of a heavenly emperor. The power that erupted from it was absolutely unimaginable. Then Lu Ming took out some origin stones, swallowed and refined them, and restored himself to his peak state. When everyone had recovered to their peak condition, they returned to the celestial city. During this period of time, the evil god race in Heaven Empyrean City had basically been wiped clean. Heaven Empyrean City began a large-scale reconstruction. The Origin Mountain Sacred Academy was reopened. Alliance leader, the Wei clan has already begun to rebuild. I'll return to the Wei clan first. If you have time, come visit the Wei clan. Wei Xian said with a smile. Alright, I hope the Wei clan can rise again. Lu Ming patted Wei Xian's shoulder. The Wei clan was originally a pretty good force in Celestial City with a true emperor overseeing it. However, the Wei clan's location was very close to the original Celestial Emperor Mountain. When the evil god race attacked, the Wei clan bore the brunt. In that battle, the upper echelons of the Wei clan were almost wiped out. All the Emperor Realm powerhouses were killed by the evil god race. The Wei clan was almost completely destroyed. Only a few members of the Wei clan who were not in the clan managed to preserve their lives. For example, Wei Xian was in the Origin Mountain Sacred Academy back then. That was why he was fine. Now the remaining members of the Wei clan were rebuilding the clan. After Wei Xian left, Lu Ming and the others strolled around Celestial City. Celestial City had suffered a great battle and was severely damaged. All kinds of ancient ruins had collapsed. No one knew how long it would take to repair them. Boom. Suddenly there was a rumble and several figures were blasted out of a collapsed palace. What are you doing? This is my Lu clan's residence. One of them roared at the palace. From now on, it belongs to my Hung clan. A cold voice sounded. More than 10 figures stepped out and appeared in the air. People of the Hung clan. A cold light flashed in the eyes of Lu Ming and the others. During the great battle back then, the Hung clan was nowhere to be seen. Now that the battle was won and the evil god race was annihilated, the Hung clan immediately ran out. And from the looks of it, they seemed to want to invade the territory of other forces. Your Hung clan is simply despicable and shameless. Why didn't you make a move during the battle with the evil god race? Now that the battle is over, you run out and want to take over my Lu clan's residence. Despicable. In the Lu clan, a young man roared in anger. How dare you humiliate my Hung clan? You deserve to die. An expert of the Hung clan roared. A sword light burst forth, slashing towards the young man from the Lu clan. The person from the Hung clan who made a move was at the peak of the absolute saint realm. The young man from the Lu clan couldn't resist at all. Boom. A fist crossed the void and defeated the sword light of the Hung clan expert. It was Huang Li who made a move. His eyes were filled with anger. Who are you? How dare you interfere in the affairs of our Hung clan? You're courting death. The experts of the Hung clan glanced at Huang Li before looking at Lu Ming and the others. Suddenly, someone's expression changed. Lu Ming. He is Lu Ming. It is true that your Hung clan is despicable and shameless. Can't you let others say it? Lu Ming said disdainfully. Lu Ming, are you sure you want to interfere in my Hung clan's matters? A quasi-emperor of the Hung clan looked coldly at Lu Ming. Scram. Lu Ming suddenly took a step forward. A violent pressure pressed down on the people of the Hung clan. The expressions of the 10-odd people of the Hung clan changed drastically. Under this pressure they retreated continuously. They looked at Lu Ming with horror in their eyes. Lu Ming was becoming more and more terrifying. When ordinary quasi-emperors faced Lu Ming, it was as if they were facing a huge monster. They couldn't even think of resisting. Lu Ming, just you wait. A quasi-emperor of the Hung clan left behind some ruthless words and left dejectedly. Many thanks. The few people of the Lu clan thanked Lu Ming and the others. Lu Ming shook his head and didn't say anything. He left with Huang Li and the others. He understood that he could only help the Lu clan for a while. Since the Hung clan returned and wanted to annex the Lu clan definitely couldn't be saved. They continued to stroll around. However, what they saw next filled them with righteous indignation. Not only did the Hung clan return, but the He clan also returned. These two overlords of Celestial Emperor City were great emperor-level factions. They possessed incomparably strong combat strength. However, the figures of these two clans were nowhere to be seen in the previous battle. After the battle ended, the people of these two clans appeared. The key was that the Hung clan and the He clan were taking the opportunity to annex the territories of other factions. In the past, the Hung clan and the He clan were enemies. The other factions in Celestial Emperor City were also very strong. If they worked together, they could still contend against the two clans. However, after the battle with the evil god tribe, many factions in Celestial Emperor City suffered heavy losses. They were simply unable to fight against the Hung clan and the He clan. Chapter 2009. Despicable. How despicable. Huang Li couldn't help but roar. The eyes of the others were also filled with anger. Some factions wanted to resist, but they were killed immediately. Their abilities were limited and they couldn't do anything about it. Oh no, the Wei clan is in danger. Lu Ming's expression suddenly changed. Almost all of the Wei clan's martial emperors were dead. Only a few people were left to rebuild the Wei clan. There were no experts at all. The Wei clan's residence and other resources would definitely be targeted by the Hung clan and the He clan. Wei Xian had just returned and he would probably be in danger. Thinking of this, the others' expressions changed. Let's go to the Wei clan. Lu Ming led the way to the Wei clan and the others followed. At this moment, the Wei clan was indeed in danger. The He clan had their eyes on this place. Bang! A Wei clan's martial emperor killed a martial emperor of the He clan with a single slash. Today you have to agree even if you don't want to. If you don't, you'll die. A martial emperor of the He clan sneered and looked down at the remaining members of the Wei clan. There were only about 100 people left in the Wei clan, and the strongest was only a martial emperor. It was impossible for them to fight against the He clan. The He clan is despicable. In the previous battle, no one dared to fight. What kind of martial emperors are you? You're worse than shit. Wei Xian had also returned to the Wei clan. At this moment he was furious. Brat, how dare you humiliate the He clan and the martial emperor of the He clan? You'll suffer a terrible fate. I promise. A martial emperor of the He clan walked toward Wei Xian with a cold gaze. I'm from the Origin Mountain Academy. How dare you touch me? Wei Xian said. So what if you're from the Origin Mountain Academy? I'll still kill you. The martial emperor of the He clan shouted coldly and was about to kill Wei Xian. Wei Xian, go quickly. I'll stop them. A white-haired elder of the Wei clan shouted and charged toward the martial emperor of the He clan. Old dog, how dare you resist? Since that's the case, the Wei clan doesn't need to stay in this world anymore. Kill them all. A martial emperor of the He clan ordered. There were more than a dozen martial emperors and dozens of absolute saints from the He clan. Their strength was far stronger than the remaining members of the Wei clan. Whoosh, whoosh. The strong cultivators of the Hung family moved. More than a dozen boundary emperors and dozens of absolute saints charged toward the Wei family. There were only 5 or 6 great emperors left in the Wei clan. The others were either absolute saints or below absolute saints. They couldn't fend off the He clan's attacks at all. All of a sudden, the Wei clan members were killed one after another. Screams of agony filled the air. Watching the Wei family members being slaughtered one after another, Wei Xian roared in anger, his eyes bloodshot. In the blink of an eye, only a few quasi-emperors of the Wei clan remained, still resisting with all their might. However, their fate was already sealed when they were surrounded by more than 10 boundary emperors from the He clan. Soon all the Wei clan quasi-emperors were killed. Of the Wei clan's people, only Wei Xian remained. This was done on purpose. Otherwise Wei Xian would have died long ago. Your He clan will die a horrible death. Wei Xian roared furiously. His eyes were bloodshot from anger. A quasi-emperor of the He clan slapped Wei Xian in the face, sending him flying and crashing into a dilapidated wall of the Wei clan. Whoosh. The He clan quasi-emperor moved and appeared beside Wei Xian, stepping on him. So what if you are from the Origin Mountain Sacred Court? You are still trampled under my feet like a dead dog. Ah. This He clan quasi-emperor laughed arrogantly. You better move your feet away. Otherwise you will die a horrible death. At this moment an extremely cold voice came from afar. Following that, more than 10 figures appeared nearby with a flash. These people were Lu Ming and the others. Alliance Chief. Seeing Lu Ming, Wei Xian roared. His eyes were filled with hope. It's Lu Ming. Someone in the He clan recognized Lu Ming and exclaimed. The expressions of the other He clan members also changed abruptly. Lu Ming had made a name for himself in the world of the Lotus Flower. Even the Eternal Star River was defeated by Lu Ming. No one below Martial Emperor did not fear him. I said move your feet away. Did you not hear me? Lu Ming's eyes were cold. He glanced at the He clan quasi-emperor who was stepping on Wei Xian and walked toward him step by step. The He clan quasi-emperor had a grave expression. He said, Lu Ming, this is my He clan's matter. You better mind your own business. It seems like you want to die. Lu Ming said coldly. Just as Lu Ming's voice fell, a transparent bubble enveloped the He clan quasi-emperor. The quasi-emperor's body stiffened. Sacred power surged in Lu Ming's hand and condensed into a long spear. The long spear was covered with runes of destruction array Dao. Now stop. The He clan quasi-emperor panicked. He screamed in horror and struggled with all his might. However, it was all in vain. Whoosh. Lu Ming swung his hand and the long spear shot out like lightning. It pierced through the quasi-emperor's head and brought the quasi-emperor's body tens of thousands of meters away before nailing him to the ground. Don't let any of them off. Lu Ming's voice rang out. Ah, I've long wanted to make a move. Huang Li's eyes were cold as he charged toward the He clan's experts. Huang Ling, Long Qin, and the others also attacked the He clan's people. Lu Ming, you've already offended the Hung clan. It won't do you any good to offend my He clan. A He clan's expert roared. Kill. Lu Ming took a step forward and threw a punch. The fist force crushed and a quasi-emperor of the He family was torn into pieces. In Lu Ming's eyes, the He clan's people were all scum and deserved to die. Let's go. The He clan's experts roared. They knew that they were no match for Lu Ming. Their figures flickered and rushed in all directions, wanting to escape. However, before they could get far, they seemed to have crashed into an invisible wall and were all blocked. The bubble made a move and sealed the space. Lu Ming, all the experts of my He clan have returned to Celestial City. There are many Emperor-level experts nearby. If you kill us, you will die too. A He clan Quasi-Emperor roared. Let's end this quickly. This was Lu Ming's response. With a wave of his hand, 9 prison-suppressing monument phantoms appeared and suppressed them. One by one, the He clan's experts were killed. At the same time, the bubble and the others also made a move. It was a complete suppression. In the blink of an eye, only a few of the He clan's experts were left. Lu Ming, we have already sent out the news. You will die without a doubt. The last He clan Quasi-Emperor roared before he was killed by Lu Ming with a punch. Let's go back to the Origin Mountain Academy. Lu Ming waved his hand and his Saint power surged. He swept up Wei Xian and flew toward the Origin Mountain Academy at the fastest speed. Not long after they left, several figures appeared in the sky above the Wei clan, exuding an incomparably powerful aura. These figures were all martial emperors. Obviously they were all experts of the He clan. Lu Ming, you're courting death. Report this. This time we must kill Lu Ming. Chapter 2010. Many places in the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard were almost restored, but some cultivation grounds were not yet restored. Now there were very few geniuses in the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard. Most of them had returned to their respective forces. Only a few geniuses and the teachers of the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard were still there. Of course, because of the previous massacre of the evil god tribe's remnants in Celestial City, many powerful experts temporarily stayed in Celestial City. For example, some experts from Phoenix Palace and Divine Elephant Sect temporarily stayed in the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard. Lu Ming and the others returned to the mountain where they lived to treat Wei Xian's injuries. Fortunately, Wei Xian's injuries were not serious and he recovered quickly. However, his eyes were very sad. The huge Wei clan was almost wiped out and he was the only one left. He clan. Wei Xian clenched his fists and his killing intent was endless. At this time, outside the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard, a group of powerful experts arrived. These were the experts of the He clan, and the leaders were true emperors. Yigao was among them. Everyone, this is the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard, please wait. 2 teachers of the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard appeared and blocked the experts of the He clan. Is Lu Ming in the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard? Ask him to come out and die. Yigao said coldly. He had wanted to kill Lu Ming for a long time. Everyone, this is the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard. No matter what grudges you have with Lu Ming, settle it outside the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard. A teacher of the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard said. Since you don't want to ask Lu Ming to come out, then we will go in and find him. Another true emperor of the He clan said and stepped forward. Everyone, please wait. The teacher of the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard stretched out his hand and blocked in front of him. Get lost. The He clan's true emperor blasted out a palm, and the terrifying palm force directly sent the teacher of the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard flying and vomiting blood. The teacher of the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard was only a void emperor, and he could not stop the other party at all. Let's go. Many experts of the He clan completely ignored the teachers of the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard and rushed into the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard. Their spiritual sense swept unscrupulously, and they wanted to find Lu Ming. Spread the news. The 2 Yuanshan Holy Courtyard teachers had ugly expressions as they spread the news. The Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard originally had 3 great emperors. Other forces did not dare to be presumptuous in the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard. However, after the battle with the evil god tribe, 2 great emperors of the Yuan Mountain Sacred Courtyard had fallen. This matter had already spread throughout the land of Yuan Mountain. Therefore, the He family dared to barge into the Origin Mountain Holy Courtyard without any scruples. At the residence of Lu Ming and the others. Suddenly, Lu Ming and the others felt a powerful spiritual sense sweep over them and stop on their bodies. The He clan is here. Lu Ming's eyes darkened, revealing a trace of cold light. She did not expect that the He clan would actually dare to search the Yuan Mountain Holy Courtyard unscrupulously. Boom, boom. In the distance, a group of experts stepped through the air, causing the void to tremble. The terrifying pressure made it difficult for Lu Ming and the others to breathe. Lu Ming and the others rushed out of the room and stood in the air. He Gao. Lu Ming saw He Gao at a glance. And He Gao's eyes also swept towards Lu Ming and the others. When he swept past Lu Ming it was full of killing intent, but when he swept past Xiang Xiang it was full of greed. Xiang Xiang, he must get it. Lu Ming, you killed many experts of my He clan for no reason, you must pay with your life. He Gao was the first to speak, full of cold killing intent. For no reason? What a joke. You said that a life for a life. They killed so many people of the Wei clan, they are also paying with their lives. Lu Ming sneered. How can the people of the Wei clan be compared with my He clan? He Gao retorted. Ha ha ha. This time Lu Ming laughed crazily, his laughter was full of contempt. This made the faces of the He clan sink. Your He clan can still put yourself in such a high position. In my opinion, your He clan is not even comparable to a dog. Lu Ming mocked. What did you say? Courting death. Reckless dog. The people of the He clan were furious. You still have the face? Let me ask you, when the evil god tribe invaded, where did your He clan go? In order to protect the land of Yuan Mountain, the others risked their lives and fought a bloody battle with the evil god tribe. But your He clan was a coward, and when the battle ended, you ran out to reap the benefits. Are you still human? If you are not worse than a dog, then what are you? Lu Ming's mocking voice sounded continuously. When he thought of the various great emperors fighting to the death, and in the end, the Chaos Heaven Great Emperor and Heavenly Fire Great Emperor's lives were unknown. There were also some other forces that suffered heavy losses in the battle with the evil god tribe, and many experts died. But now, the He clan and Hung clan ran out to snatch the territories of these forces and even killed the people of these forces. At the thought of this, Lu Ming's anger burned fiercely. What nonsense are you talking about? How dare you insult my He clan? You are courting death. You have a sharp tongue, you must die today. The people of the He clan shouted one after another. Boom, boom, boom. The people of the He clan emitted a powerful aura. Lu Ming, let me tell you, no one can save you today, not even Great Emperor Wuxia. Also, this old man will help you take care of your disciple Xiang Xiang. He. He Gao transmitted his voice to Lu Ming. Old dog. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with endless killing intent. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. At this moment, on the nearby mountain peak, several figures flew over and landed in front of Lu Ming and the others. Their bodies also emitted powerful auras. There were void emperors, true emperors and all. These experts came from the Phoenix Palace, Divine Elephant Sect, Divine Origin Empire and other forces. They had just wiped out the evil god tribe and temporarily stayed here, not returning yet. You want to stop my He clan with just a few small forces? You overestimate yourselves. He Gao sneered. Then several figures flashed over from afar, and all of them were terrifying experts. There were even more experts from the He clan, most of whom were martial emperors. There were also a few true emperors. The number of experts from the He clan caused the experts from the Phoenix Palace and Divine Elephant Sect to be greatly alarmed. The He clan was a great emperor-level force. They were too powerful and had many true emperors. It was not something the likes of the Phoenix Palace and Divine Elephant Sect could compare to. Today I will personally take Lu Ming's head. He Gao spoke and stepped forward, his powerful aura locking onto Lu Ming. The true emperors from the Phoenix Palace, Divine Elephant Sect and Divine Origin Empire wanted to help, but they were locked onto by the He clan's aura. The moment they moved, the He clan would unleash a thunderous attack. Lu Ming's expression turned solemn. He was locked onto by He Gao's aura, and he could not move at all. A true emperor was too strong and he was not someone he could fight against. Lu Ming narrowed his eyes and a sharp light flashed in them. He was considering whether or not to take control of the Heaven Emperor's body. Let's see how you kill him. Chapter 2011. A figure landed in front of Lu Ming and cut off He Gao's aura, relieving the pressure on Lu Ming. Senior Bing Mu. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. That figure was actually Qiu Yu's master, Bing Mu. If you want to fight, I'll kill you too. He Gao was incomparably domineering. His palm was like a blade, slashing down at Bing Mu, wanting to kill him. Ice seal. Bing Mu pointed with his finger. Suddenly, with Bing Mu's finger as the center, endless ice spread out, as if it could freeze everything. The temperature of the world plummeted. A terrifying cold chi not only froze He Gao's saber light, but it also extended towards He Gao. Break for me. He Gao roared out. His world energy erupted as a terrifying power blasted towards the icy chi. However, wherever the cold chi passed, even the world energy of the ice curtain was frozen. The terrifying cold chi enveloped He Gao. In the blink of an eye, an ice mountain appeared in the air, and He Gao was frozen inside. Just one move was enough to freeze a true emperor. This was quite shocking. One could see He Gao's shocked expression through the iceberg. He didn't expect to be frozen by Bing Mu in one move. Attack together. A true emperor from the He clan roared and attacked the iceberg together. Boom. The iceberg exploded and He Gao retreated frantically. His face was pale and his body was covered in a layer of frost. She's strong, attack together and kill her. He Gao roared and channeled his world energy to expel the frost from his body. Meanwhile, the true emperors from the He clan attacked Bing Mu together. The combined attack of several emperors was frightening, but Bing Mu wasn't afraid at all. He pointed with his finger and an icy energy spread out, stopping all of the attacks from the He clan. So strong. Lu Ming was also secretly shocked. Ice Screen's ability was indeed very powerful. The true emperors from the He clan weren't ordinary, but Bing Mu was still able to stop them all. No wonder why Bing Mu dared to attack Daluo Heaven Sect alone. Ordinary true emperors wouldn't dare to do so. After dozens of moves, the He clan's true emperors couldn't do anything to Bing Mu. They retreated with an ugly expression. You're Bing Mu from Seoul's Sacred Palace. Someone from the He clan recognized Bing Mu and said seriously. That's right. Bing Mu didn't deny it. Bing Mu, are you sure you want to oppose our He clan? It's not good for Seoul's Sacred Palace. He Gao said coldly. Haha, the He clan is still an imperial power, yet you're mobilizing so many experts just because some quasi-emperors can't defeat a few juniors. Don't you think it's embarrassing? Bing Mu mocked. The He clan's expression turned ugly. Indeed, they were a dignified emperor-level force. However, some of the older quasi-emperors were no match for Lu Ming, a junior. Therefore, the He family mobilized so many people and sent so many martial emperors to deal with Lu Ming. Do you think that my He clan mobilized so many experts and mobilized so many people just because of this matter? One of the He clan's true emperors said. Many people's expressions changed. Could it be that the He clan came here for some other reason? Lu Ming pretended to be someone from the He clan and hunted down the Hung clan's disciples. Later on, he pretended to be someone from the Hung clan and hunted down our disciples, instigating a war between the two clans. In the end, our clan suffered great losses and deserves death. One of the He clan's true emperors said coldly. What? Many people were shocked. Such a thing actually happened? Many had heard of the war between the two clans. The reason was that the He clan's true emperor, He Gao, had taken a treasure from the Hung clan. The Hung clan was indignant and sent experts to hunt down the He clan's disciples. The He clan retaliated by sending experts to hunt down the Hung clan's disciples. Because of this, the conflict between the two sides escalated. Could it be that Lu Ming was behind this? Lu Ming had mastered the law of chaos. Apart from the law of kings and the strongest law, he could transform everything else. In that case, it was really possible. Everyone's eyes fell on Lu Ming. If this was true, then Lu Ming's means were really shocking. With his own strength, he caused two emperor-level forces to suffer heavy casualties. Lu Ming narrowed his eyes but didn't say anything. He knew that this matter couldn't be hidden for much longer. Back then, the two clans fought because of the deep conflict between them. It was like gunpowder that could be ignited at the slightest spark. However, once both sides calmed down and thought about it carefully, they would find many loopholes and easily link it to Lu Ming. Lu Ming, you don't need to deny it. We've carefully analyzed it and talked to the Hung clan. You're definitely behind this. One of the He clan's true emperors said. That's right, I did it. Lu Ming said. Since they had guessed it, there was no need to deny it. Little animal, you deserve to die 10,000 times. He Gao screamed, wanting nothing more than to tear Lu Ming to pieces. Lu Ming actually used his matter to start a war between the two clans. How hateful. That's right, he deserves to die 10,000 times. At this time, a cold voice came from the sky. Then, another group of experts descended. The Hung clan. Bing Mu said solemnly. The Hung clan is here too. Huang Ling, Long Qin, Ouyang Wushuang and the others had ugly expressions. After the He clan, the Hung clan also arrived. Moreover, the experts from the Hung clan weren't any weaker than the He clan. How were they going to fight? Lu Ming was the only one who looked calm. Lu Ming, how dare you sow discord and cause great losses to the Hung clan? You deserve to die 10,000 times. Hand over the Heavenly Emperor's sword and we'll leave your corpse intact. One of the Hung clan's true emperors said coldly. Another bunch of cowards who are worse than pigs and dogs. Lu Ming said indifferently. Some people were shocked. In the face of such a situation, Lu Ming actually dared to criticize the Hung family. He was really bold. The experts from the Hung clan were all furious. Lu Ming, you'll suffer a fate worse than death. You'll pay a heavy price for your words. One of the Hung clan's true emperors said coldly. You're so easily angered. It seems like you all know how despicable you are but refuse to admit it. Once others pointed out, you use force to suppress others to hide your despicableness and shamelessness. You're just deceiving yourselves. Despicable is despicable. Lu Ming said indifferently. His voice reverberated throughout the area. The He clan and Hung clan's faces were extremely ugly. When others were fighting against the evil god tribe, they went into hiding. After that, they came out to snatch other people's territory. They knew in their hearts whether they were despicable or not. However, they would never admit it and forbid others from saying it. Once they did, they would die. A bunch of lowly people who deceive themselves. Lu Ming's words hit the nail on the head. Chapter 2012. Well said, a group of despicable people who deceive themselves and others. A voice could be heard. The void vibrated and figures flashed. Many figures appeared beside Lu Ming and the rest. They were the teachers of Yuan Mountain Saint Courtyard. The teachers of Yuan Mountain Saint Courtyard included void emperors and true emperors. Boom. The aura of the teachers of Yuan Mountain Saint Courtyard clashed with the aura of many experts of Hung clan, causing a terrible collision and rumbling sound in the air. The commotion here was too shocking. It spread far and wide. Outside Yuan Mountain Saint Courtyard, many people felt the pressure like a mountain. One after another rose into the air and looked at this side. The experts of He clan and Hung clan are confronting Yuan Mountain Saint Courtyard. It seems like it's because of Lu Ming. He clan and Hung clan, they are really shameless. Now they come out and dare to attack Yuan Mountain Saint Courtyard. It's nothing more than bullying the death of two great emperors of Yuan Mountain Saint Courtyard and the injury of Wuxia great emperor. Many people were extremely unhappy with He clan and Hung clan, but their voices were very low, for fear of being heard by the experts of the two clans. So what if they were unhappy? He clan and Hung clan were great emperor-level forces. With great emperors in charge, the number of true emperors and void emperors was even more. Today it's really lively. At this time, a voice came from afar, and then everyone saw a rainbow light, like a divine sword, cut through the void and flew toward Yuan Mountain Saint Courtyard. Within each streak of rainbow light was a powerhouse. Their auras were incomparably shocking. So strong, so many martial emperors. Someone exclaimed with a dignified face. When the rainbow light converged, a group of experts arrived at Yuan Mountain Saint Courtyard, faintly forming a triangle with He clan and Hung clan, surrounding Lu Ming and others in the middle. Daluo Heaven Sect. Someone exclaimed and took a breath of cold air. The people of Daluo Heaven Sect also came, another great emperor-level force. Your Daluo Heaven Sect also wants to join in the fun? A teacher of Yuan Mountain Saint Courtyard said. It's none of your business, we came today to kill Lu Ming, he killed our Daluo Heaven Sect's King Physique, he must die. A true emperor of Daluo Heaven Sect said coldly. The King Physique he mentioned was naturally referring to Luo Pokong. On Lu Ming's side, the expressions of many people became even more unsightly. The Hung family, the He family, and the Daluo Heaven Sect were all great emperor-level forces. Each of them was extremely powerful and had a deep foundation. Each one of them was extremely terrifying. Now the three forces had joined forces to kill Lu Ming. Although Lu Ming also had some experts on his side, in addition to the teachers of Yuanshan Holy Courtyard, it was impossible for them to fight against the three major forces. The disparity in strength was too great. If they fought, they would probably be wiped out. Today, since Lu Ming is in my Yuanshan Holy Court, my Yuanshan Holy Court must protect him. A teacher of Yuanshan Holy Academy said. Then let's destroy the Yuanshan Holy Academy as well. A true emperor from the Hung clan said with murderous intent. Today the arrival of the three major powers gave them confidence. Even if the Origin Mountain Sacred Academy was at its peak, with three great sovereigns present, they wouldn't be afraid, let alone now only great sovereign Wuxiang was left. The people watching from afar were shocked. Since Yuanshan Sacred Academy wanted to interfere, they even wanted to destroy Yuanshan Sacred Academy. What's the point of talking so much with them? Just destroy them. Yigao shouted, provoking everyone to attack. Suddenly the experts of the He clan, Hung clan, and Daluo Heaven Sect were filled with power and murderous intent, ready to launch a thunderous attack. Get ready to fight. A true emperor from Yuanshan Holy Court roared. The experts on Lu Ming's side took out their imperial weapons ready to fight. At that instant, a strong pressure filled the air. In the face of this pressure, even the true emperor's faces changed drastically, as if a great disaster was about to befall them. High in the sky, the void cracked and a figure appeared out of thin air. Great Sovereign Wuxiang. Someone said with a dignified face. This figure was Great Sovereign Wuxiang. This is Yuanshan Holy Court, I won't let you touch Lu Ming, all of you back off. Great Sovereign Wuxiang said with a gentle voice, not overbearing, but there was a supreme majesty that made people dare not refute. Wuxiang, I'm afraid you can't protect him today. As soon as Great Sovereign Wuxiang's voice fell, a majestic voice was heard. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the sky, shrouded in endless light, but many people could still recognize who it was. It was the Great Sovereign of Hung Clan. Today the three martial monarch factions had indeed come prepared. Now the Great Sovereign had come in person. No one can save him for killing our Daluo Heaven Sect's imperial physique. Then another voice was heard. This voice was cold and overbearing, filled with murderous intent. In another direction, another figure appeared, shrouded in endless black light. His figure was vague, but his aura was strong and earth-shattering. The Great Sovereign of Daluo Heaven Sect. The Great Sovereign of Daluo Heaven Sect was called Great Sovereign Tianluo. Two great sovereigns appeared, their auras were extremely powerful, like two eternal universes floating in the sky, giving people a strong pressure. It's over, Lu Ming is finished today, there is only one great sovereign in Yuanshan Holy Court, he can't protect Lu Ming at all. That's right, there are still great sovereigns in He Clan, even if the three great sovereigns of Yuanshan Holy Court are here, Lu Ming is in danger today. Lu Ming is finished today, he is going to die. It's a pity for such an outstanding talent. In the distance many people sighed. At this moment, many people were on Lu Ming's side because He Clan, Hung Clan, and Daluo Heaven Sect were too despicable, they didn't appear during the battle with Evil God Clan. Of course they supported Lu Ming, but no one would really help Lu Ming, it was undoubtedly courting death. Was a pity? Then I will kill you first. Just after Great Sovereign Tianluo appeared, another voice was heard and then a terrifying sword light shone. This sword light was too dazzling, it came from the sky, splitting the whole sky into two halves. Great Sovereign Tianluo's face changed, he shouted angrily, endless light rushed up, he waved his hand, and an incomparably mysterious aura filled the air. That was the aura of Great Tao. The Great Sovereign controlled the Great Tao of heaven and earth. Boom. A big seal floated out, it was very similar to Luo Zhanqiong's divine seal of deprivation, but it was many times more powerful than the divine seal of deprivation. The big seal flew out and bombarded with the dazzling sword light. At this moment, the dazzling light was so dazzling that many people couldn't open their eyes. When the light disappeared, an old man appeared in front of Great Sovereign Tianluo. It was a very old man, leaning on a walking stick like an ordinary old man. Uncle Kong. Lu Ming's heart moved, it seemed that Uncle Kong had been paying attention to him. At this time, when Lu Ming was in danger, Uncle Kong still stood up. Who is this person? Could it be that the sword light just now was slashed by him? So terrifying, he is also a great sovereign, but I have never heard of him. It seems that he came to help Lu Ming, there is actually a great sovereign expert behind Lu Ming. Chapter 2013. On the surface, there were only a few great emperors in Yuan Mountain, but in reality, there were definitely more than that. It was normal for Lu Ming to have a great emperor behind him. Old man, it's you. Great Emperor Tianluo narrowed his eyes and looked at Uncle Kong. Lu Ming is the great evolution pill hall's hall master. If you dare touch him, I'll kill you. Uncle Kong said slowly, but his voice was filled with killing intent. Many people were shocked. This old man was really domineering and powerful. If Great Emperor Tianluo wanted to kill Lu Ming, he would kill Great Emperor Tianluo. Could it be that this old man was that powerful? Kill me? Dan Kong, you're too confident. Even if you were at your peak, you might not be able to do anything to me. Now that you're injured, are you my match? Great Emperor Tianluo sneered. In the battle with the Evil God tribe, several great emperors had been injured in order to send the Evil God tribe's great emperor through the gate of world viewing. Great emperors had the protection of the Great Tao, so it was difficult for them to be injured. However, once they were injured, it would be difficult for them to recover. During this period of time, great emperors like the sacred Great Emperor were in seclusion to recover. However, Uncle Kong and Great Emperor Wuxiang's injuries had not healed, and their battle strength was not at their peak. That was why Great Emperor Tianluo said that. Despicable. The great emperors were injured in the battle with the Evil God tribe, but they're here to take advantage of us. Huang Li couldn't help but roar. Great Emperor Qianluo's gaze swept over Huang Li with a cold light. Huang Li was fearless and glared at Great Emperor Tianluo. Clang. Uncle Kong didn't say anything else and directly unsheathed his sword. At this moment, Uncle Kong revealed his peerless sharpness. He had transformed from a haggard old man into a peerless swordsman. Boom. Facing an injured Uncle Kong, Great Emperor Tianluo didn't dare to be careless. He circulated his power to the extreme, and a large seal floated above his head as he cautiously confronted Uncle Kong. I'm afraid the two of you won't be able to save Lu Ming. At this moment, a cold voice rang out. A figure floated above the heads of the He clan's experts. Many people's hearts trembled. Great Emperor He clan. Great Emperor He clan had appeared. 3 great emperors from the 3 great emperors' forces. Lu Ming was really finished today. Emperor Wuxia and nameless great emperor. Lu Ming had 2 great emperors on his side, but they couldn't fend off 3 great emperors. Moreover, there were so many experts from the 3 forces. On Lu Ming's side, if a great emperor didn't help him, Lu Ming would be dead for sure. Many people sighed. Boom. The great emperor of Wuxia released a powerful aura. However, the great emperor of the Heng family also released his aura and locked onto the great emperor of Wuxia, preventing him from helping Lu Ming. You're a great emperor, yet you still need several people to join forces to deal with a junior. You're really a disgrace to the great emperors. Emperor Wuxia said. Lu Ming tried to drive a wedge between us, so he must pay the price. Also, we came here today to deal with Lu Ming. There's one more thing we need to tell you, Wuxia. From now on, Celestial City belongs to He clan and Hung clan. The same goes for Yuanshan Holy Courtyard. Wuxia, you should leave Celestial City. Great Emperor He clan said coldly. What? Many people were enraged when they heard that, especially Lu Ming and the rest of the people from the Sacred Academy of Yuan Mountain. Hung clan and He clan wanted to take over Yuanshan Holy Courtyard for themselves. It couldn't be described as despicable. Aha, what bullshit, great emperors. I think you're just a few old dogs, shameless old dogs. Lu Ming clenched his fists and laughed. His words made Great Emperor He clan, Great Emperor Hung clan, and Great Emperor Tianluo squint their eyes. They looked at Lu Ming with sharp eyes. As for the others from the 3 forces, they were furious. Lu Ming, what did you say? How dare you insult the great emperors? You're courting death. The other people from He clan and Hung clan roared. Am I wrong? In my opinion, your 3 great emperors are not even as good as the evil god tribe. The 3 great emperors of Yuanshan Holy Courtyard and a few other great emperors risked their lives to protect Yuanshan Holy Courtyard. Great emperors Tianhua and Hun Tian are still alive. The other great emperors were injured because of this, but you guys took advantage of the situation. Not only are you afraid of death, but you also want to seize the territory of those who fought against the evil god tribe. If you're not dogs, what are you? No, I'm wrong. Even dogs are loyal. Calling you dogs is an insult to dogs. Lu Ming sneered again and again. He felt a ball of fire burning in his chest. Many people were angry, but the people from He clan, Heng clan, and Daluo Heaven sect were red in the face and looked at Lu Ming angrily. You speak so righteously as if you've made a great contribution. Lu Ming, what are you doing when the evil god tribe invaded? A young man from He clan and Hung clan couldn't help but ask. I'm fighting against the evil god tribe. Lu Ming said loudly. Fighting against the evil god tribe? It sounds good, but you're just taking the opportunity to kill a few small fries. What's the use of that for the big picture? Don't put yourself so high. A young man from He clan mocked. Hee like ancestor, like descendant. At this time, Emperor Wuxia sneered with a hint of sarcasm. Then his voice suddenly rose. Then I'll tell you today, what did Lu Ming do in the battle against the evil god tribe? The void passage opened by the evil god tribe was sealed by Lu Ming. Emperor Wuxiang's voice was loud and clear, like a gust of wind, blowing in all directions, spreading throughout the entire celestial city. What? The void passage was sealed by Lu Ming? How is that possible? With Lu Ming's cultivation, how could he do it? Many people showed an expression of disbelief. Absolutely impossible, you're deliberately raising Lu Ming's status. With Lu Ming's cultivation, how is that possible? Who would believe such a thing? Hung clan, and Daluo Heaven sect suddenly shouted, refuting Emperor Wuxia. Lu Ming used the law of primal chaos to revive an ancient chaos stone plate. Back then, during the battle to seal the void passage, it was us old guys who assisted Lu Ming and finally succeeded in sealing the void passage. I swear in the name of the great emperor, this is absolutely true. If it wasn't for Lu Ming, the land of Yuan Mountain would still be caught in the flames of war. Now, they want to kill the meritorious subject. Are you all so indifferent? Emperor Wuxiang's voice spread throughout Celestial City. He didn't say it to the people of Hung Clan, He Clan, and Daluo Heaven Sect, but to the others in Celestial City. Many people's eyes changed. Emperor Wuxiang, speaking in the name of the great emperor, there was no mistake. They didn't expect that so many things had happened behind the scenes in the battle that day. They didn't expect that the greatest meritorious subject was actually Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming had never mentioned this matter. If it wasn't for the three major forces forcing Emperor Wuxiang to tell the truth, no one would know. Now, the three major forces wanted to kill the greatest meritorious subject of the evil god tribe. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Chapter 2014. In a flash, many people joined Lu Ming's team, including true emperors and empty emperors. They released their auras to help Lu Ming's team fight against the three major forces. A bunch of small fries who think they can change the outcome of the battle. Great Emperor Tianluo said coldly. Wuxiang, you've said so much just to find a few more helpers. But what's the use of a bunch of small fries? Attack and kill Lu Ming. Kill anyone who stands in our way. Great Emperor Heng said. Boom. Great Emperor Heng's aura burst out and locked onto Great Emperor Wuxiang. At this moment, apart from Lu Ming, the auras of the powerhouses from the three forces locked onto the rest of the people. Which one of you will attack and kill Lu Ming? Great Emperor, he said coldly. I'll kill him. A middle-aged man in his 50s stepped out from the He family. A terrifying aura swept towards Lu Ming like a tidal wave. This man was called He Gao, a small emperor realm void emperor. He had just broken through to the small emperor realm and was a one-star void emperor. This was a good opportunity for him to show off in front of Great Emperor He. Perhaps, Great Emperor He would reward him. Martial Emperor. Huang Ling, Long Qin, Luo Tianyi and the rest were shocked. The teachers of the Origin Mountain Sacred Institution, Phoenix Palace, Divine Elephant Sect and Bing Mu were shocked. They wanted to attack but they realized that they were locked onto. The auras of the three major forces locked onto them. As long as they moved they would be attacked by lightning. Moreover, those who were targeting them were very strong. Clang. Uncle Kong made his move. Sword Chi whistled and a terrifying sword light slashed towards He Gao. Old man, I'm your opponent. Great Emperor Tianluo shouted. The seal vibrated and shot out a divine light, blocking Uncle Kong's sword light. Then the seal vibrated and charged towards Uncle Kong. Sword Chi whistled as the battle between Uncle Kong and Great Emperor Tianluo broke out. The two exchanged a few blows and rushed into the dark void to fight. Boom. At the same time, Great Emperor Wuxiang also exchanged a blow with Great Emperor Heng from a distance. Great Emperor Wuxiang couldn't spare any time to help. His strength was originally slightly stronger than Great Emperor Heng's, and he defeated Great Emperor Heng the last time they fought. But now that he had yet to recover from his injuries, he might be at a disadvantage against the Hung clan's Great Emperor. Bang! Bang! He Gao stepped into the void. With every step he took, the void trembled. His aura became stronger and stronger. Like a storm, it pressed down on Lu Ming. He was like a giant looking down on Lu Ming. Lu Ming, it's your honor to die by my hands. Kill. He Gao's palm was like a knife as he slashed down at Lu Ming. A pale white saber light filled with coldness caused the temperature of the place to plummet. Fight! Lu Ming shouted. He took a step forward and the aura on his body surged wildly. All the saint power in his body gathered at his fingertip and he pointed out. The energy between heaven and earth gathered crazily at Lu Ming's fingertip. Then an extremely condensed finger force burst out and collided with He Gao's saber light. Ding! There was a sharp sound of collision and the force rolled out. He Gao's saber light shattered and turned into nothing. It was blocked. Many people couldn't help but widen their eyes. The attack of a martial emperor expert had been blocked by Lu Ming. The most shocking thing was that Lu Ming had blocked his opponent's attack and didn't even take a step back. What terrifying combat strength! Many people exclaimed. He Gao's eyes were filled with anger. Although he hadn't used his full strength in the previous attack, Lu Ming was unscathed and didn't even take a step back. He felt embarrassed. Moreover, he glanced around and saw that the He clan's patriarch's face had darkened. His heart sank. Did the He clan's great emperor have a bad impression of him? Damn it. It's all Lu Ming's fault. I'm going to tear him into pieces. He Gao roared in his heart and a cold murderous intent appeared in his eyes. Kill? He Gao shouted. The martial emperor expert's power of the world circulated wildly. His palm turned into a dazzling saber light and slashed out, causing heaven and earth to shake. Lu Ming narrowed his eyes slightly. His figure moved. Instead of retreating, he charged toward He Gao. Boom, boom. Lu Ming punched continuously. Illusions of the prison-suppressing monument appeared and collided with He Gao's saber light. The illusions of the prison-suppressing monument exploded, but the saber light was also blocked. Song of the Four Seasons. After failing to take down Lu Ming, He Gao became anxious and used the He clan's divine skill, Song of the Four Seasons. His saber force suddenly changed. At first it was like winter snow. Then it turned into spring. In the next moment, it was like the scorching sun in the sky. The saber force changed and its power increased greatly. It shattered the prison-suppressing monument that Lu Ming had condensed. The saber light continued to attack Lu Ming. Lu Ming retreated continuously. Kill? The moment Lu Ming retreated, He Gao's saber force became even more ferocious. It swept toward Lu Ming crazily. Chi. At that moment, Lu Ming used the chaotic tribulation finger. He pointed out several fingers with his right hand and the finger force collided with He Gao's saber light. Endless runes appeared on Lu Ming's left hand. A true dragon roared and pounced toward He Gao. Insignificant skill. He Gao shouted. A saber light burst out and defeated the true dragon. However, the true dragon turned into endless runes and spread toward He Gao, trying to seal him. The power of combining 3 scrolls of the 9 scrolls of array formation was indeed very mysterious. He Gao's expression changed slightly. The power of the world burst out and shattered the endless runes. Next the two fought fiercely. In the blink of an eye they had exchanged more than 10 moves. He Gao was indeed very powerful. Although he had just become an empty emperor, he was a martial emperor after all. His combat power far exceeded that of a quasi-emperor. Every move of his contained the power of the world and was extremely powerful. Lu Ming relied on the use of 2 laws to barely block the attack. But even so, everyone was still shocked. Lu Ming was only an absolute saint and had not reached the complete absolute saint. He was only at the peak of the absolute saint realm. However, he could fight against a martial emperor and block him. This was too shocking. Many experts from the He clan, Hung clan, and Daluo Heaven sect were shocked. With Lu Ming's combat power, if he became an empty emperor or even a true emperor in the future, how powerful would he be? What if he became a great emperor? Thinking of this, they felt a chill in their hearts. Even the great emperors of the He clan, Hung clan, and Tianluo Heaven Emperor had cold looks in their eyes. The more talented Lu Ming was, the more he deserved to die. Go to hell. He Gao had not taken down Lu Ming since the start of the battle. He became more and more impatient. Originally, with his temperament, he would not be like this. The main reason was that he, a martial emperor, could not take down Lu Ming after so many moves. Under the watchful eyes of so many people, he could not accept it. That was why he was like this. His saber aura became fiercer and fiercer. He could not wait to cut Lu Ming into pieces. Destruction, chaotic calamity finger. At this moment, Lu Ming suddenly pointed a finger. Chapter 2015. Lu Ming used his strongest move. A huge chaotic calamity finger was formed, and it was covered with array runes. It was the initial combination of the destruction scroll and the chaotic calamity finger. Bam! Bam! The chaotic calamity finger blasted out, and He Gao's saber light shattered. He Gao's expression changed and he roared. A world seemed to appear on his body and he slashed out. The saber light seemed to contain a world. Boom! The chaotic calamity finger was finally destroyed by He Gao, but He Gao retreated 10 miles. A martial emperor had been defeated by Lu Ming. Many people gasped and they were so shocked that they couldn't speak. He was only a peak absolute saint, but he had defeated a martial emperor. No one would believe such a battle result. Such a battle result could scare people to death. Ah, damn it! He Gao roared. He had lost all his dignity today. Even if he could kill Lu Ming, it would be a stain on his life, and it might even become his inner demon. Is this the martial emperor of the He clan? Is this all he has? He is indeed worse than a pig. Not only is his character bad, but his combat strength is also bad. Lu Ming mocked. You? He Gao was so angry that his chest heaved up and down, and he almost vomited blood. Calm down. He is deliberately provoking you. Use all your strength to kill him and wash away your shame. A voice entered He Gao's ears. It was the voice of the great emperor of the He clan. The voice of the great emperor of the He clan seemed to have a magical power that calmed He Gao down. He knew that he had been too anxious, and he hadn't fully unleashed his combat strength. Buzz! A saber appeared in his hand, and the saber light tore through the air. It was extremely sharp. As He Gao's power of the world poured in, the saber's aura became stronger, and the terrifying saber force kept pressing down on Lu Ming. This was an imperial weapon. The power of an imperial weapon controlled by a martial emperor was completely different from when a martial emperor controlled it. Only a martial emperor could unleash the full power of an imperial weapon. Boom. A world floated above He Gao's body. It was obviously not complete and it was filled with chaos, but it still gave people a terrifying pressure. Kill. He Gao shouted and slashed down with his saber. The power of this slash was a lot stronger than before. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. He pushed his cultivation base to the limit and pointed out. It was still the annihilation chaos finger of calamity. However, this time when the blade light slashed down, the chaotic finger of calamity shattered. The terrifying power rushed towards Lu Ming, causing Lu Ming to retreat quickly. This is the true strength of a martial emperor. Lu Ming suppressed the surging qi and blood in his body as he muttered to himself. In the end, his strength was still slightly weaker than that of a martial emperor. If he reached the peak of the absolute saint realm, he was confident that he could fight with He Gao. Looks like Lu Ming is still no match for him. A martial emperor is a martial emperor after all. Lu Ming is only a martial emperor at the pinnacle of the absolute saint realm. However, the fact that Lu Ming can fight a martial emperor to this extent is already terrifying enough. Some people were discussing. Lu Ming, I won't let you die so easily. I'll make you suffer until you die. He Gao approached Lu Ming step by step. His cold voice rang in Lu Ming's ears. I was just playing with you earlier. Now I can send you on your way. At this moment, Lu Ming smiled faintly. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. Earlier, he had fought with all his might only to test the limits of his combat strength. Many people were stunned. What did Lu Ming mean? Did he want to kill He Gao? Send me on my way? Aha, you're really boasting shamelessly. You want to anger me with this, right? Unfortunately, it won't go as you wish. Kill. He Gao shouted. His body exploded with a dazzling light. His entire body seemed to have merged with the saber in his hand. He turned into a terrifying blade light and attacked Lu Ming. The blade light broke through the air and whistled through the air. It was terrifying. Many people's hearts were in their mouths. Perhaps Lu Ming was going to die under this blade. In an instant, the blade light was close to Lu Ming. Oh no! At this moment, Huang Ling, Long Qin and the others were shocked. At this moment, Chang Zhe from Phoenix Palace and Divine Elephant Sect, as well as Bing Mu and the others, wanted to help. However, the experts from the He family, Heng family, and Daluo Heaven Sect flashed and blocked their way. Master! Lu Xiangxiang shouted. She wanted to rush over, but one of the experts on the other side released a burst of energy. Lu Xiangxiang's figure flew back. Just when everyone thought that Lu Ming was going to be killed by this blade, they saw a sword light. The sword light lit up in Lu Ming's hand and slashed at the blade light that He Gao had turned into. Then an inconceivable scene appeared. The sword light slashed past and the blade light broke into two from the middle. Bam! The blade light shattered. Then, everyone saw He Gao frantically retreat 100 miles away. His eyes were wide open as he stared at Lu Ming. He Gao spat out 2 words with difficulty. Then, a line of blood appeared between his eyebrows and quickly spread to his entire body. Rip. He Gao's body was split into 2 and fell to the ground. He was dead. He Gao was dead. The scene fell into a dead silence. Just now, He Gao clearly had the absolute advantage and wanted to kill Lu Ming with one slash. Everyone thought that Lu Ming was most likely dead. But now, why was He Gao the one who died? The Sword of the Celestial Emperor, you can actually control the Sword of the Celestial Emperor. A true emperor from the Heng family shouted. Everyone's gaze was on Lu Ming's hand. Lu Ming was holding a stone sword in his hand. The Sword of the Celestial Emperor. Many people's hearts trembled. Lu Ming could actually control the Heavenly Emperor's sword and unleash its power to kill He Gao with one slash. How could a mere absolute saint control the Heavenly Emperor's sword and unleash its power? They naturally did not know that Lu Ming had a technique to control the Heavenly Emperor's body. The Heavenly Emperor's sword had merged with the Heavenly Emperor's body. Now the energy stored in the Heavenly Emperor's body had reached 12%. If Lu Ming could control the Heavenly Emperor's body, he could naturally control the Heavenly Emperor's sword as well. Just now, Lu Ming had controlled the Heavenly Emperor's sword and easily killed He Gao. Who else wants to kill me? Lu Ming held the stone sword and glanced at the He family, Heng family, and Daluo Heaven Sect. Humph, a mere absolute saint. You think you're invincible just because you can barely unleash a trace of the Heavenly Emperor's sword's power? The Heavenly Emperor's sword should belong to the Heng family. Hand it over. An expert from the Hung family stepped forward. A terrifying aura crazily pressed toward Lu Ming, martial emperor. This person was also a minor emperor, void emperor. But this person's aura was many times stronger than He Gao's. He was probably an expert among the void emperors. If you want the heavenly emperor's sword, come and get it. Lu Ming held the sword and faced the expert from the Hung family. Boom. Chapter 2016. The expert from the Hung family was cautious and attacked from a distance. He reached out his hand and grabbed at Lu Ming. A huge claw was formed and grabbed at Lu Ming. Kill? Lu Ming shouted. He held the sword with both hands and slashed down. A ray of sword light slashed forward like a crescent moon. It was so fast that a dark crack appeared in the space where the sword light passed. Poof. The giant hand formed by the expert from the Hung family was cut in half by the sword light. The sword light did not stop and continued to attack the expert from the Hung family. It was so fast that the expert could not react in time. Fall back. The great emperor from the Hung family shouted, but it was too late. Poof. Blood splattered everywhere as the elite from the Hung family was sliced in half by the sword. His soul naturally dissipated in the sword radiance. Another martial emperor was killed. Furthermore, this person was not someone that He Gao could compare to. He was a powerful figure among the void emperors. However, he could not block Lu Ming's sword. Many people looked at the stone sword in Lu Ming's hand in awe. Of course, there were also people who were greedy. Lu Ming was only an absolute saint, but he could exert such terrifying power. What would happen if a martial emperor controlled the sword? Damn it! How dare you! The other experts from the Hung family reacted and shouted. Ah, good job. Emperor Wuxia laughed and the great emperor from the Hung family looked pale. Who else wants to kill me? Lu Ming pointed the stone sword at the Hung family. The experts of the Hung family all had ugly expressions on their faces. They were filled with killing intent, anger, and fear. They did not know how powerful Lu Ming could be with the sword of the heavenly emperor. Therefore no one dared to step forward. Didn't you all want to kill me? What? Are you all useless now? Lu Ming pointed the stone sword at the Daluo Heaven sect. The people from the Daluo Heaven sect looked pale. However, no one stepped forward. In the end, Lu Ming pointed the stone sword at the He family. He Gao, you old dog, come out and die. Lu Ming shouted, his killing intent bursting forth. Today he wanted He Gao's head as a sacrifice to the Ice Dragon Valley Master. He Gao's expression darkened. Many people's hearts trembled. Lu Ming wanted to challenge He Gao. He Gao wasn't weak even among emperors and could be considered an expert. Given Lu Ming's sage realm cultivation and the control of the sword of the Celestial the Arch, could he really fight against a veteran true emperor like He Gao? He Gao, I challenge you. If you don't dare to accept my challenge, just say so. Lu Ming said loudly, his voice full of mockery. Little bastard, you deserve to die. He Gao roared in his heart. He couldn't wait to slap Lu Ming to death. But now, facing Lu Ming who was holding the sword of the Celestial the Arch, he wasn't confident. He even felt a little scared. He didn't want to die. He still wanted to survive the tribulation and live a carefree life for hundreds of thousands of years. But now, a junior like Lu Ming was challenging him. If he didn't dare to accept the challenge, he would lose all face. Not only him but the He family as well. Right now he couldn't back down. Looks like the He family is a bunch of cowards. They only know how to bully others with their absolute advantage. Once someone shows a hint of a threat, they immediately give up. How embarrassing. Lu Ming continued, his mockery thickening. The He family members' faces turned red. They felt extremely humiliated. He Gao, go ahead and kill him. The He family Grand Emperor stood with his hands behind his back and glanced at He Gao. He Gao's face immediately turned pale. Clearly the He family Grand Emperor was furious. He had no choice but to obey the He family Grand Emperor's order. Little bastard, I'll make sure you die a horrible death. He Gao's expression was gloomy. He took a step forward and divine light spread out from his body, enveloping him. At the same time, several imperial weapons floated around him. Among them, there were a few defensive imperial weapons that protected him. Haha, you're really afraid of death. You're facing a junior of the absolute saint realm and you're already covering yourself like a turtle shell before the fight even starts. Wang Li laughed out loud. Did you see that? He's a coward. The embodiment of cowardice. Wang Ling said. A bunch of bastards. He Gao roared in his heart. He was being mocked by a few juniors. Even though he was thick-skinned, he couldn't help but turn red. Kill? He turned his anger into killing intent and took out an imperial weapon. The imperial weapon flew out and charged towards Lu Ming. He didn't dare to get too close to Lu Ming. He controlled the imperial weapon and charged towards Lu Ming. He wanted to test his strength first. Whoosh! It was a small silver knife that cut through the void. Its speed was shocking and its power was even more terrifying. However, this slash alone could easily kill any expert among the Void Emperors. The Heavenly Emperor sword in Lu Ming's hand vibrated. Lu Ming took advantage of the situation and slashed out. Clang! The stone sword and the small silver knife clashed and a terrifying buzzing sound rang out. The small silver knife vibrated and was sent flying out. That's all there is to it. He Gao's eyes lit up. He felt that although the Heavenly Emperor sword was powerful, it wasn't too exaggerated. He could completely block it. However, he was still worried. He controlled the small silver knife and turned it into a silver lightning bolt and charged towards Lu Ming. Clang! Clang! Lu Ming's Heavenly Emperor sword continued to slash out and collided with the small silver knife. After more than 10 collisions, the small silver knife was sent flying out each time. However, Lu Ming also took a few steps back. That's all there is to it. He Gao was finally relieved. His body moved and charged towards Lu Ming. A terrifying knife light burst out from He Gao's hand and slashed towards Lu Ming. Retreat. Many true emperors and void emperors protected the weaker ones and retreated quickly. He Gao's combat strength was really strong. When he unleashed his full strength, a large area would be enveloped by his attack. It was difficult to stand still. Good timing. A cold light flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. He activated the cultivation technique that controlled the Heavenly Emperor's physical body. More energy burst out from the Heavenly Emperor sword. The Heavenly Emperor sword vibrated continuously and a layer of terrifying light appeared on the sword. Following that, Lu Ming slashed out and a shocking sword light burst out. A chilling sword light. The sword light slashed down and collided with He Gao's knife light. Boom. Blinding light burst out and endless knife light and sword chi swept out in all directions. The entire sky shook violently. Bam. Then, the knife light shattered and the terrifying sword light bombarded He Gao's defensive imperial weapon. The violent power sent He Gao's body flying like a cannonball. His face was pale. You didn't use your full strength just now. He Gao shouted in fear. Die, you old dog. Lu Ming held the stone sword and seemed to have become one with it. The power of the stone sword surged into his body. He took a step forward and caught up with He Gao. Then he slashed down again. He Gao roared and unleashed all of his strength. The power of the Heavenly Emperor surged and fought against Lu Ming. Chapter 2017. Bam. He Gao was sent flying. Lu Ming quickly caught up with him and the Heavenly Emperor's sword continued to slash downwards. At this moment, the power of the Heavenly Emperor's sword had surpassed He Gao's. Many people were shocked. The power of the Heavenly Emperor's sword was too terrifying. It had not unleashed its full power earlier, but now, it was able to suppress He Gao. The stone sword buzzed and the sword chi was shocking as it continued to slash down towards He Gao. He Gao gritted his teeth and controlled the imperial weapon. The silver knife enlarged rapidly and he held it in his hand as he slashed out. Clang. When the stone sword and the silver saber collided, sparks flew everywhere. A gap actually appeared on the silver saber, but there was not the slightest mark on the stone sword. He Gao retreated continuously from the shock. Lu Ming followed closely behind, slashing his combat sword again. He Gao could only brandish his battle knife to block. Clang. 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 The two of them continued to clash and the sky rumbled. In an instant, the two of them had exchanged more than 10 moves. Their speed was shocking. Some of the weaker cultivators could only see 2 phantoms. Bam. After more than 10 moves, the silver battle knife in He Gao's hand shattered into pieces. A true imperial weapon was shattered just like that. Swoosh. Lu Ming slashed down again. He Gao ignored the pain in his heart and controlled an imperial weapon shield to block. Dong. There was another explosion and the imperial weapon shield was hit by a terrifying force. It slammed heavily onto He Gao's body. He Gao screamed and vomited blood. Die. Lu Ming roared and crazily activated the energy in the stone sword. The light on the stone sword became brighter and more powerful. He Gao's face changed drastically as if he sensed a fatal danger. His body flashed and he rushed towards the great emperor of the He clan. Great Emperor, save me. He Gao roared. But in the next moment, Lu Ming turned into a sword light and attacked He Gao at a shocking speed. After the stone sword left the Heavenly Emperor's body, it was controlled by Lu Ming. Although it was powerful, it was limited. At this moment, Lu Ming had activated it to the extreme. This sword was enough to threaten He Gao. But at this moment, the great emperor of the He clan frowned and took a step forward. Boom. Between heaven and earth, because of this step, the wind and clouds changed. A huge foot came down from the sky, stomping toward Lu Ming. Despicable. Huang Ling, Long Qin and the others roared. Not only had a great emperor attacked Lu Ming, an absolute saint, but he had also attacked while Lu Ming was fighting against others. This was far too despicable. Rumble. The giant foot was completely composed of energy. It was like the foot of a god. As it stomped down from the sky, Lu Ming felt the space around him freeze. The terrifying pressure made it difficult for Lu Ming to breathe. Slash. Lu Ming shouted. Holding the sword with both hands, he slashed down at the giant foot. Boom. A heaven-shaking explosion rang out. Lu Ming's sword light was only able to endure for a moment before collapsing. The giant foot continued to descend at an astonishing speed. Lu Ming held his sword horizontally in front of him. Dong, the giant foot stepped on the stone sword. Lu Ming's entire body was like a meteor, smashing into the ground. Boom. The ground within a radius of a few thousand miles shook as spiderweb-like cracks appeared. The place where Lu Ming landed had a deep, pitch-black pit. Lu Ming. Huang Ling, Long Qin and the others trembled. How was Lu Ming? Lu Ming had exchanged a blow with a great emperor. That was a great emperor. If a heavenly emperor didn't appear, a great emperor would be at the peak. How many people in the entire Yuan Mountain could take a blow from a great emperor? Even a peak true emperor would die. Master. Xiang's eyes were filled with tears. She was about to cry. Boom. In the endless dark void there was a commotion. It was Uncle Kong. Uncle Kong was still fighting with Tianluo, great emperor. Countless eyes were looking at the pitch-black cave. Was Lu Ming dead? Even if the great emperor didn't use much of his strength, he would still be in trouble after clashing head-on with the great emperor. Whoosh. He Gao came to the top of the cave with a hideous smile. Little bastard, so what if you have the heavenly emperor's sword? You're just an ant at the saintly realm. How dare you fight with the He clan? You overestimate yourself. He Gao sneered. An ant at the saintly realm? Who was the one who was beaten up by an ant at the saintly realm? Huang Ling mocked. Little girl, you've got a sharp tongue. I'll make you regret what you said later. He Gao glanced at Huang Ling coldly. He then gathered his power of the realm to form a long spear and threw it into the pitch-black cave. Whoosh. The long spear flew into the pitch-black cave like a stone sinking into the ocean. He Gao's expression changed as he descended. His eyes shone brightly as if he wanted to see what was below. Rumble. At this time, the ground suddenly trembled, emitting a muffled rumble. It was as if a peerless, ferocious beast had awakened deep underground. Retreat. Great Emperor He of the He clan's face changed as he roared. He Gao was shocked and was about to rush into the sky. Rumble. The ground exploded and dust filled the air. An incomparably huge hand stretched out from the depths of the ground and grabbed at He Gao. The hand was made of stone and it was so huge that it covered the sky. It gave off a terrifying aura and blocked off all of He Gao's escape routes. He Gao was terrified. He wanted to run away, but he realized that he had nowhere to run. He was like a worm that was about to be caught. Rumble. At this moment, the great emperor of the He clan made his move. He slapped down with his palm and a huge palm print slammed down on the stone hand, wanting to save He Gao. However, the ground rumbled again. Another giant stone hand reached out and punched at the great emperor of the He clan. Rumble. The giant stone hand crushed great emperor He's palm print. Whoosh. When the hand closed, He Gao tried his best, but it was useless. He was caught by the stone hand. Rumble. The ground rumbled and then collapsed. A gigantic stone man rushed out from the ground. That's Heaven Emperor's physical body. Someone shouted in shock. Many people had entered the Lotus World and the Ninth World. They had seen Heaven Emperor's physical body before. In the beginning, Heaven Emperor's physical body was controlled by Xing He. But when the Void Passage appeared, Heaven Emperor's physical body and Sword of Heaven Emperor flew away to suppress the Void Passage. Then it disappeared. No one had expected it to appear here. Could it be that Lu Ming had obtained Heaven Emperor's physical body? But why was it Lu Ming and not Xing He? Wasn't Xing He the one who controlled Heaven Emperor's physical body at the beginning? The experts of the Hung family, especially the great emperor of the Hung family, had a bright glow in their eyes. Lu Ming and the people on his side were stunned. They could not figure out why Lu Ming had turned into a stone man and dashed out after being blasted into the depths of the earth. "He Gao, I've said that you will die today." The huge stone man spoke with a buzzing voice. But judging from his tone, it was Lu Ming. Many people were dumbfounded. Chapter 2018. He Gao was terrified by Lu Ming's grip. He struggled frantically trying to break free. However, this was Heaven Emperor's body. No matter how hard he struggled, it was useless. Let him go. Great Emperor, he looked at Lu Ming, or more accurately, at Heaven Emperor's body. His eyes flashed with greed. The Heavenly Emperor's corporeal body and battle sword were both supreme treasures. Ridiculous. Lu Ming said indifferently. The golem's indifferent eyes glanced at Great Emperor He. Then it squeezed hard. The terrifying power almost flattened He Gao, causing him to scream in pain. Boom. Great Emperor He attacked. His body was shrouded in boundless light. Strands of light that resembled divine swords flew towards Lu Ming. This was the light of the world. It was extremely terrifying. Clang. The stone sword had been stuck in the back of Heaven Emperor's body. Now, with a thought from Lu Ming, the stone sword buzzed and flew out. It expanded rapidly and swept across. After the stone sword merged with Heaven Emperor's body, its power increased tremendously. It slashed horizontally and blocked all of Great Emperor He's attacks. "He Gao, I'll send you on your way." Lu Ming's cold voice resounded. "No. No." He Gao screamed in terror. He Gao roared in horror. He didn't want to die. He had racked his brains for the sake of surviving the great calamity and continuing to live a carefree life. But now he was about to die before he could even survive the tribulation. He was extremely terrified. Boom. Lu Ming squeezed hard. A terrifying force rushed towards He Gao. He Gao couldn't resist this force at all. In Lu Ming's hand, his body exploded inch by inch. In the end, only his head was left. He Gao wasn't dead yet. His soul was still there. At this moment he kept screaming, "Spare me, spare me." Whoosh. A wave of energy rushed into He Gao's sea of consciousness and destroyed his soul. Next, Lu Ming threw He Gao's head out. It flew out and landed in front of a tomb on a mountain peak. That was the tomb of Ice Dragon Valley Master. Back then, Lu Ming swore that he would use He Gao's head as a sacrifice to Ice Dragon Valley Master. Now he had done it. The spectators were shocked. A true emperor was killed just like that. He was mercilessly killed by Lu Ming in front of a great emperor. Kill. At this moment, the great emperor of the He clan was enraged. His long hair danced in the wind and his aura was shocking. Bang. He took a step forward and a terrifying aura surged towards Lu Ming. "If you want to fight, I'll fight with you. Let's go up," Lu Ming said. His body shot up into the sky and into the vast sky. The great emperor of the He clan followed closely behind and soared into the sky. At the same time, a resplendent blade light shot out from his hand. It seemed as though the entire world was about to be sliced apart by this blade. Whoosh. At this moment, Lu Ming had fused with Heavenly Emperor's body. He controlled Heavenly Emperor's body and slashed out with the stone sword. Clang. An earth-shattering boom rang out as if the world had exploded. Heaven and earth shook. The people below only saw a bright light explode in the endless sky, as if a sun had exploded. The two of them exchanged a blow. Their bodies swayed and they took a few steps back. The great emperor of the He clan's face darkened. His body moved and rapidly expanded. In the end, he turned into a giant that was as big as Heavenly Emperor. Great emperors controlled the Grand Tao. The small worlds in their bodies were close to perfection and could give birth to living beings. They had the power of their own worlds and could freely expand or shrink their bodies. The great emperor of the He clan clenched his fist. It was as if he was holding a Grand Tao in his hand and it turned into a battle blade. The Grand Tao turned into a battle blade that emitted a resplendent light. With a slash, endless power gathered and slashed towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming's thoughts moved. The energy in Heavenly Emperor's body exploded wildly. A layer of light covered Heavenly Emperor's body. The light on the stone sword became even brighter. Clang. Lu Ming slashed out again and clashed with the great emperor of the He clan. This time the two of them were still pushed back. The void trembled as they stepped on it. But in the next moment the two of them clashed again. Clang. 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 Their attacks were simple, but each of them contained terrifying power. Their attacks shook the heavens and earth. If they were to land on the ground, the consequences would be unimaginable. After becoming a great emperor, one could control the Grand Tao and return to one's original state. A battle might seem simple, but it was more dangerous. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged dozens of blows. It was difficult to determine the victor. I have to end this quickly. My energy won't last that long. Lu Ming had many thoughts in his mind. Bam! Bam! Lu Ming stepped on the void and rushed towards the great emperor of the He clan. The great emperor of the He clan slashed out again. But this time, Lu Ming didn't block it. He was betting. He was betting that the heavenly emperor's body could block the attack. Boom! The great emperor of the He clan's sword slashed viciously on Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's body shook violently, but he managed to block it. There wasn't even a scratch on his body. Lu Ming was overjoyed. After all, this was the body of a heavenly emperor. A heavenly emperor was much stronger than a great emperor. Their bodies were naturally sturdy and indestructible. Ordinary great emperors couldn't even break through a heavenly emperor's body. Kill? Lu Ming roared and slashed the stone sword at the great emperor of the He clan. Not good. The great emperor of the He clan was alarmed and retreated quickly. But he was still a step too late. His body was slashed by the stone sword and a bloody wound appeared. Kill, kill, kill. Lu Ming roared. His attacks were like a violent storm, blasting toward the great emperor of the He family. The great emperor of the He clan also counterattacked, but Lu Ming didn't care about his defense. He allowed the great emperor of the He clan's attacks to land on his body. For a moment, the great emperor of the He clan was in a passive position. He was suppressed by Lu Ming. Down below, many emperor-level experts could see the great battle in the sky through the vast void. At this moment they were all dumbfounded. The great emperor of the He clan was at a disadvantage. He was suppressed by Lu Ming. Such power. The heavenly emperor's body is so strong. It's a waste that it's controlled by Lu Ming. If it's controlled by our great emperor, we can sweep the world. The Hung clan's experts were all greedy. They couldn't wait to take the heavenly emperor's body for themselves. On the other hand, the great emperors of the Yuan Mountain Saint Court were overjoyed. How is it? How's the battle above? Huang Ling asked anxiously. Those below the great emperors didn't have the strength to see the battle above. Lu Ming has the upper hand. Great Emperor Wuxia said. He had been confronting the great emperor of the Hung clan and hadn't made a move. At this moment, he waved his hand and an image appeared in the sky. It was the image of the battle between Lu Ming and the great emperor of the He clan. At this moment, the great emperor of the He clan was completely suppressed and could only defend. Bam! In a moment of carelessness, the great emperor of the He clan was punched in the face by Lu Ming's other hand. The great emperor of the He clan was sent flying. Awesome, this is awesome. Beat that son of a b*tc. When Huang Li and the other desolate race youths saw this, they shouted in excitement. Chapter 2019. What are you looking at? Let's wait for Great Emperor He to be beaten to a pulp. I'm going to use the rest shadow stone to record everything. A great emperor being beaten to a pulp is definitely worth collecting. Perhaps I can sell it to others for a high price. Huang Li and the rest stared back and took out the rest shadow stone to record the scene. All of you are courting death. The experts from He clan were enraged. But what made them vomit blood was that many people took out the rest shadow stone to record the scene. This included the people from Hung clan and Daluo Heaven sect. Indeed, it was rare to see a great emperor being beaten to a pulp. Many people would be willing to pay a high price to purchase it. This made the faces of the He family members turn the color of pig liver. In the sky, after Lu Ming sent Great Emperor He flying, he chased after him and continued his torrential attacks. The great emperor of the He clan roared as a world emerged from his body. In this world, one could even see some strange living beings that were living and reproducing in it. The boundless power of the world was controlled by Great Emperor He. It merged with the Tao of heaven and earth and turned into a terrifying killing art that charged towards Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming ignored his own defense and rushed out. The stone sword slashed down and broke through the power of the world as he charged towards Great Emperor He. The two of them exchanged more than 10 moves consecutively. The great emperor of the He family was at a disadvantage. Lu Ming found another flaw and slashed down. This slash landed on Great Emperor He's face. Great Emperor He was surrounded by the Tao and the power of the world as he set up layers of defense. But when the slash landed, Great Emperor He felt as though he had been hit by a huge mountain. His body was sent flying and he spun a few thousand rounds in the sky. He felt a buzzing sound in his head and his soul was almost blown out. Swoosh. In the next instant, Lu Ming charged towards Great Emperor He and slashed down again. Bam. Great Emperor He of the He clan was sent flying again. However, Lu Ming didn't break through Great Emperor He's defense. He only made him dizzy. The energy stored in Sky Emperor's body is too little. His attack power is insufficient. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Only 12% of Sky Emperor's energy was stored in his body. Although he was able to suppress Great Emperor He with his invincible defense, it was difficult for him to break through his defense. If the energy stored in the Celestial Emperor's body reached 20%, Lu Ming was confident that he could break through his opponent's defenses and even kill him. However, even if he couldn't break through his opponent's defense now, he could still give him a good beating. Whoosh! Lu Ming rushed towards the Great Emperor of the He clan and kicked him in the face. The Great Emperor of the He clan groaned as his body flew out again. Then Lu Ming chased after him and sent the He clan Great Emperor flying again. Great Emperor He of the He clan was like a rubber ball that was sent flying by Lu Ming. Great Emperor! The faces of the He family's experts paled. Some of the onlookers were dumbfounded. As for the people who were with Lu Ming, they were all overjoyed. Ah, this feels great. Beat his face. That's right. Beat him with all your might. Huang Li shouted and laughed as though he was beating up the Great Emperor of the He clan. At the same time, he didn't forget to record the scene with the rest Shadow Stone. Great Emperor Hung of the Hung clan's face turned ugly. If Lu Ming could beat up the Great Emperor of the He clan, wouldn't he be able to do the same to him? High up in the sky, the Great Emperor of the He clan was finally clear-headed after being beaten up so many times. He roared crazily and the small world in his body seemed to be burning up. Boom, boom. He started to go all out and launched a few terrifying attacks at Lu Ming. When his attacks landed on Lu Ming, he finally forced Lu Ming to retreat. At the same time, he rushed into the distance and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Retreat. Then the Great Emperor of the He clan's voice could be heard. The faces of the He clan's experts turned ugly. However, since the Great Emperor of the He clan had left, they could only retreat. Instantly, the He clan members turned into streaks of light and escaped pathetically. In the blink of an eye, they left carelessly. In the sky, Lu Ming looked at the Great Emperor of the Hung clan with excitement. The Great Emperor of the Hung clan's face changed. He knew that it was impossible to kill Lu Ming and take back the Heavenly Emperor's sword or even the Heavenly Emperor's body. Retreat. The Great Emperor of the Hung clan shouted. His body swayed and he left the place. The experts of the Hung clan quickly escaped from the Yuan Mountain Saint Court. Let's go. The void shook and the Great Emperor of the Tianluo sect appeared. He glanced at Lu Ming unwillingly and left with the people of the Daluo Heaven sect. The three Emperor-level forces had come with great momentum, but when they left, they were in a sorry state. All of this was because of Lu Ming. When they came, it was because of Lu Ming. When they retreated, it was also because of Lu Ming. It could be said that the three forces were in a difficult situation this time, especially the He clan. The Void Emperor and the True Emperor were killed by Lu Ming. Even the Great Emperor was beaten up by Lu Ming. They were destined to become a laughingstock. As for the Hung clan, Lu Ming killed an expert of the Minor Emperor realm. Too scary. Lu Ming can control the Heavenly Emperor's body and suppress the Great Emperor. From now on, no one in the Yuan Mountain will be his opponent. That's right. With the protection of the Heavenly Emperor's body, Lu Ming will be able to grow smoothly. I wonder how terrifying a son of chaos will be when he grows up. Many people whispered. Some forces even began to consider whether they should befriend Lu Ming. After all, Lu Ming's character was not to be doubted. Disregarding his own safety, he sealed the void passage of the evil god tribe with the Great Emperor. Just this point made people have a good impression of him. And now, Lu Ming even had the protection of the Heavenly Emperor's body. In the future, he would definitely grow into a terrifying expert. Even breaking through to the Great Emperor realm was not impossible. Befriending Lu Ming now was naturally the best. Unfortunately, the energy stored is too little. It's about to be used up now. With a thought, Lu Ming walked out from the forehead of the Heavenly Emperor's body. Then, the Heavenly Emperor's body rapidly shrank and was kept by Lu Ming. In the battle with the Great Emperor of the He clan, the energy stored in the Heavenly Emperor's body was almost exhausted. Otherwise, he would not mind torturing the Hung clan's Great Emperor and Tianluo Great Emperor. It was only because the energy was exhausted that Lu Ming did not pursue. Otherwise, it would be over if he was exposed. In fact, the Great Emperor of the He clan was afraid of Lu Ming. If he persisted for a while longer, Lu Ming would be exposed. Then, if the Hung clan's Great Emperor and Tianluo Great Emperor joined forces, Lu Ming would be in danger. However, they did not know that the Heavenly Emperor's body needed to store energy in order to be controlled. How would they dare to fight with Lu Ming? Lu Ming stepped down from the sky and walked towards Huang Ling and the others. Haha, Lu Ming, that was a good beating. It was too good. I've copied everything that happened just now. Let's enjoy it together when we have time. Huang Li laughed heartily, his eyes shining. Huang Ling, Long Qin and the others also smiled. It's a pity that we didn't kill a great emperor. Chapter 2020. Lu Ming shook his head and sighed. Many people were speechless. Lu Ming still wanted to kill a great emperor. This little guy is quite ambitious. However, it's not easy to kill a great emperor unless you have an overwhelming advantage in strength. Emperor Wuxia walked over and said with a smile. Then there was a flash of light and Uncle Kong appeared. Uncle Kong, are you all right? Lu Ming asked with concern. Uncle Kong had not recovered from his injuries and he had just fought with great Emperor Tian Luo. This made Lu Ming quite worried. Don't worry, I'm fine. Uncle Kong revealed a gentle smile and returned to the state of an old man. If they had not seen Uncle Kong in action, they would never have thought that Uncle Kong was a terrifying great emperor. Uncle Kong did not stay for long. He said a few words and left. Then Emperor Wuxiang also left. They were all injured and needed to recover as soon as possible. As for Huang Li, Huang Ling, Long Qin and the rest, they pulled Lu Ming along and held a big banquet, calling it a celebration. While drinking, they took out the Breath Shadow Stone and watched the scene of Lu Ming beating up the great emperor of the He family. In the next few days, there were people who came to the Origin Mountain Saint Court to visit Lu Ming. Obviously, these forces wanted to befriend Lu Ming. For example, the Ancient Sun Holy Land's Purple Flame Villa and the Soul Sanctum's experts. Lu Ming had the Heavenly Emperor's body and the combat strength of a great emperor. There was no need to be afraid of the Daluo Heaven sect. Of course, they were willing to befriend Lu Ming. There were also some other powerful forces that did the same. Naturally, they did not know that the Heavenly Emperor's body could not be used at will. It needed to store energy. They also did not know that the energy of the Heavenly Emperor's body had been exhausted. Lu Ming did not reject anyone and met with many powerful figures from various forces. Befriending more forces would be useful in the future. In the blink of an eye, more than half a month had passed. Celestial City was also in the process of being repaired. Since the last battle, Heng and He clan had restrained themselves and did not continue to invade other forces' territories. Many forces were able to rebuild. At this time, Lu Ming also left the Origin Mountain Saint Court. He had just received the news that Vientiane Tower had reopened, so he immediately rushed over. After entering the Vientiane Tower, someone led Lu Ming to a room. What information do you want? A white-haired old man asked. I want to know if there's any way to condense a soul. I have a friend who's injured. Her soul is injured. Lu Ming then described the symptoms of Autumn Moon in detail. The law of deprivation has been encountered, and the soul has been injured. The white-haired old man frowned. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. If the Vientiane Tower did not know what to do, then it would be troublesome. After a while, the white-haired old man said, It's extremely difficult to recover from an injury to the soul. Can you let this old man take a look at your friend? All right. Lu Ming nodded, and with a wave of his hand, the Great Pill Derivation Furnace appeared. This is the Great Pill Derivation Furnace of the Great Pill Derivation Palace. Little guy, you must be the son of Chaos, Lu Ming, whose name shook the entire Origin Mountain. The white-haired old man was indeed an expert of the Vientiane Tower. He recognized the Great Pill Derivation Furnace at a glance. That's me, Lu Ming said. Then he opened the Great Pill Derivation Furnace, and Autumn Moon's body floated out. Lu Ming would melt a batch of sacred medicine into Autumn Moon's body every once in a while. Although such a long time had passed, Autumn Moon's face was still rosy and normal. Even Autumn Moon's body was emitting a strong medicinal fragrance. The white-haired old man waved his hand, and a force surged into Autumn Moon's body to observe carefully. After a while, the white-haired old man withdrew his power. Her soul has been seriously injured. As far as this old man knows, there's only one place in the entire Origin realm, and only one treasure that can condense her soul and recover. The white-haired old man said. What place? What treasure? Lu Ming was overjoyed. As long as he could save Autumn Moon, no matter what treasure it was, he would find a way to get it. Little guy, it's not easy to use this treasure to save this little girl. That treasure is the national treasure of the Super Devil Nation in the Land of Infinite Devils, the Ancient Demonic Coffin. Ancient Demonic Coffin? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. That's right. The Ancient Demonic Coffin of the Ancient Demonic Nation is a rare treasure. It has an unimaginable effect on the soul. As long as this little girl is placed in the ancient demonic coffin, her soul will be condensed in less than a month. However, the ancient demonic coffin is the national treasure of the ancient demonic nation. It's very difficult to borrow it for a month. The white-haired old man said. Thank you, Senior. Lu Ming cupped his fists and thanked the white-haired old man. He then paid the consultation fee and put Autumn Moon back into the Great Defying Cauldron. He had to make a trip to the ancient demonic nation as soon as possible. The longer he delayed, the more unfavorable it would be for Autumn Moon. No matter how difficult it was, he had to help Autumn Moon recover. After leaving the Vientiane Tower, Lu Ming returned to the Origin Mountain Saint Court. He planned to bid farewell to everyone and leave for the land of infinite devils as soon as possible. However, when he returned to the Origin Mountain Saint Court, he heard that Emperor Wuxia was gathering the sky prides of the Origin Mountain Saint Court. It seemed like he had something important to announce. Therefore Lu Ming stayed for the time being. He would only leave after Emperor Wuxia was done with the announcement. In the next few days, sky prides continued to return to the Origin Mountain Saint Court. However, the sky prides of the He clan, Hung clan, and Daluo Heaven sect did not come. On the fifth day, Emperor Wuxia gathered everyone at the place where he gave the lecture. Lu Ming and the others also came. They found that there were a total of hundreds of people here. It was much worse than before. Whoosh. The void shook and Emperor Wuxia's figure appeared. Greetings, Emperor. Everyone bowed. This time I gathered all of you here because I have something important to announce. I believe everyone is very curious about why Heavenly Fire, and Hun Tian founded the Origin Mountain Saint Court back then. Emperor Wuxia said. Everyone nodded. This was indeed the question in everyone's heart. There are several main reasons. One of them is related to the evil god tribe. The previous battle was just a local battle. The evil god tribe has never given up on attacking the heaven realm and the primordial realm. Now the heaven realm's situation is very unfavorable. It's only a matter of time before the evil god tribe attacks the primordial realm. Therefore the final battle will erupt sooner or later. Emperor Wuxia said in a heavy voice. Everyone's hearts sank and their faces were very solemn. After the previous battle with the evil god tribe, everyone understood how terrifying the evil god tribe was. However, that was only a local battle. If the final battle was fought, a large number of great emperors and even heavenly emperors would come. How could they fight? At that time, not only the land of Origin Mountain, but the entire primordial realm would not be able to stay out of it. They would probably fall into a tragic battle. Crack. Chapter 2021. However, when a world is facing a crisis, the world itself will be in a defensive state. Emperor Wuxia continued to explain. The world itself will be in a defensive state? Everyone was confused. Could it be that the world itself had a consciousness? That's right. There was once a powerful existence that speculated that the world itself has a consciousness. For example, when the heavenly world or the primordial realm is invaded by the evil god tribe, they will be in a defensive state. The space will become relatively stable and not easy to penetrate. The most important point is that when the world is in danger, the world will give birth to many geniuses. Many terrifying physiques will appear in groups. Just like now, the heavenly world and the primordial realm are full of geniuses. All kinds of monarch physiques and even heaven's children are appearing. In the past, this was impossible. In fact, this is the world's defense. When these geniuses grow up, they will be able to defend against external enemies. This is the reason why the golden age of the world is now. Emperor Wuxia continued to explain. Everyone's hearts were in turmoil. There was actually such a saying? This was the first time they had heard of it. Geniuses were gathering and monarch physiques were contending for supremacy. It turned out that it was a defensive state of the world itself. Therefore you are the hope of the future. You are the hope of resisting the evil god tribe. Therefore the three of us established the Primordial Mountain Academy and gathered you all together. We will do our best to nurture you, hoping that you will grow faster. Everyone came to a realization. So this was the reason why the three great emperors had established the Primordial Mountain Academy. The great emperors are really selfless. Someone sighed. Especially when they thought of the Heavenly Fire Great Emperor and the Chaos Heaven Great Emperor's current situation. Some people felt sad. Compared to Emperor Wuxia, the Heavenly Fire Great Emperor, and the Chaos Heaven Great Emperor, the Hung Clan Great Emperor, the He Clan Great Emperor, and the Tianluo Great Emperor were incomparably despicable and selfish. Of course, that's only the first point. The second point is that the Battle of the Ten Earths will begin soon. It said that there will be a great opportunity this time. Therefore we want you to grow faster so that you can seize this opportunity. Emperor Wuxia continued. Battle of 10 Earths? Everyone was puzzled. They had never heard of such a thing before. The Battle of the 10 Earths is held by many great emperors in the 10 Earths of the Yuan realm. It will gather all the sky prides of the 10 Earths. When the sky prides compete, they will also be accompanied by great opportunities. The purpose is the same as well. It is to nurture this batch of sky prides and allow them to grow faster. Emperor Wuxia said. Everyone's hearts trembled, and they found it hard to calm down. The Battle of the 10 Lands would gather all the geniuses of the 10 lands. How many geniuses would there be? How intense would the battle between geniuses be? Such a thing had never happened before in history. This was the first time. This time the battle will take place in the Divine Fate Land. Countless experts will participate and there will be great opportunities. It will be of great help to your cultivation. If you want to rise before the war with the evil god tribe, if you want to have the ability to protect yourself in the future, you can't miss this battle. Emperor Wuxiang's voice caused everyone's hearts to surge. Emperor, when will the battle begin? Lu Ming asked. Lu Ming wanted to break through and step onto the peak. He couldn't miss such an opportunity. But now he still needed to go to the land of infinite demons to save Autumn Moon. 3 years later. Emperor Wuxiang said. 3 years later? Hurry up. Lu Ming let out a long breath. 3 years later the Divine Fate Land will gather. At that time, you will face all the sky prides of the Yuan realm. So, if you want to stand out in the Battle of the 10 Earths and seize the opportunities, you have to keep improving in these 3 years. Otherwise you might be reduced to a supporting role. Understand? Emperor Wuxiang said. Understood. Everyone shouted. Good. Now Lu Ming, Lu Xiang, you guys stay. The rest can leave. After that, Emperor Wuxiang called out a group of names. Then some people left. Dozens of people stayed. Lu Ming looked around and found that those who stayed were mostly people with the monarch body. Only a few people didn't have the monarch body. Bubbles, Huang Ling, Long Qin, Ouyang Wushuang, and the others were all there. At this time ripples appeared in the space and a few more figures appeared. Uncle Kong and the Divine Emperor, the Emperor-like Great Emperor. Several great emperors appeared at the same time. You are the group of people with the most outstanding talent in Yuan Mountain. In these 3 years we will send you to some strange places. Each place is related to the laws you have comprehended and will greatly help your cultivation. Emperor Wuxiang said. Many people's eyes lit up. The places chosen by the great emperor were definitely extraordinary and would definitely be of great help to their cultivation. Great Emperor, I'm afraid I can't go. Lu Ming took a step forward and cupped his fists. I know. You're going to the land of infinite demons, right? Emperor Wuxiang nodded. Go. Saving people is more important, but you have to rely on yourself if you want to borrow the ancient demon coffin. Even if we appear in the land of infinite demons, it won't have any effect. It might even be counterproductive. Uncle Kong said. Those devil cultivators are all arrogant. Humph. The Divine Emperor snorted. Yes. Lu Ming nodded. I also want to follow Big Brother Lu Ming. Chirp chirp. Bubble hung around Lu Ming's neck. Little guy, will bring you to a place that will greatly help your cultivation. Are you sure you don't want to go? Emperor Wuxiang looked at Bubble. Not going. Bubble shook its head vigorously. Lu Ming smiled bitterly and said, Bubble, go and cultivate with the great emperors. We'll meet again soon. Bubble was a space-time spirit mouse and had a unique talent. Its talent was even stronger than ordinary Elysian children. If it continued to follow him, it would only limit its talent. Bubble had been following him for a long time, but its cultivation progress wasn't too fast. This time, Lu Ming planned to let Bubble cultivate with the great emperors. That way it would be able to improve faster. Lu Ming felt a sense of urgency. He didn't know when the evil god tribe would attack. All of them had to make the best use of their time to improve their strength. If it wasn't for the fact that he had to save Autumn Moon, Lu Ming would also follow the great emperors to cultivate. But Bubble can't bear to part with Big Brother Lu Ming. Chirp chirp. Bubble hung around Lu Ming's neck and rubbed its little head against him. Bubble, be good and improve your strength. Otherwise, you won't be able to help Big Brother Lu Ming in the future. Lu Ming patted Bubble's little head. No, Bubble must help Big Brother Lu Ming. Bubble blinked its big eyes and finally agreed to cultivate with the great emperors. Alright, I'll give you 3 days to prepare. 3 days later we'll bring you all away. Emperor Wuxiang said. Then the great emperors left the place. Lu Ming, let's go and have a drink. Huang Li and the others walked over. Then, everyone drank to their heart's content and agreed to meet at the Divine Fate Land to compete with the other regions. Chapter 2022. The Land of Infinite Demons was one of the 10 lands of the Yuan realm. It was close to the Yuan mountain and its territory was vast and boundless. Lu Ming stepped onto the teleportation array and first arrived at the teleportation area outside the ancient Sun Sacred Land before flying towards the Land of Infinite Demons. The ancient Sun Sacred Land was the closest to the Land of Infinite Demons among the 9 sacred lands of the Yuan mountain. After flying for more than 10 days, the demon chi slowly became denser. Then Lu Ming saw a large river in front of him that ran across the land. This was the Eternal Demon River, which separated the Yuan mountain and the Land of Infinite Demons. It was unknown how long it was, but it was at least 8,000 miles wide. The strange thing was that the water of the Eternal Demon River was black. Only by crossing the Eternal Demon River could one reach the Land of Infinite Demons. Lu Ming did not stop. He rose into the air and flew towards the other side of the Eternal Demon River. The Eternal Demon River was rich in demon chi and gave birth to some strange monsters. Some of them were very powerful. These monsters were full of dense demon chi. In the Land of Infinite Demons they were called demonic beasts. In the process of crossing the river, Lu Ming encountered some trouble and was attacked by some demonic beasts. However, Lu Ming rushed through them all. The most dangerous time was when he encountered a huge shark in the Martial Emperor realm. Fortunately, Lu Ming used the divine breathing technique to conceal his aura and luckily escaped. It took Lu Ming 3 days to cross the 8,000 miles distance and truly reach the territory of the Land of Infinite Demons. What a dense demon chi! Lu Ming found that the demon chi in the Land of Infinite Demons was extremely dense. Demon chi was actually a kind of energy of heaven and earth. Cultivators could absorb and refine it. However, if one did not cultivate demonic arts, it would be very difficult to absorb and refine it. It was much slower than absorbing heaven and earth yuan chi. However, if one cultivated demonic arts, absorbing demon chi would be like a fish in water. Their cultivation speed would be faster. Therefore, the Land of Infinite Demons was a paradise for demonic arts cultivators. Most of the cultivators here were demonic arts cultivators. No matter what law they comprehended, their true essence Saint Force contained demon chi. The Land of Infinite Demons is said to have thousands of demon kingdoms. Among them there are 2 most powerful demon kingdoms. The Eternal Demon Kingdom is one of them. Lu Ming pondered and began to plan his next itinerary. There were countless devil kingdoms in the Land of Infinite Demons. They were divided into low-grade devil kingdoms, mid-grade devil kingdoms, high-grade devil kingdoms, and super-grade devil kingdoms. The ancient devil nation was a super devil nation. It was even stronger than great emperor forces like the He family and the Hung family. It had existed for countless years. Of course, it wouldn't be easy to borrow the treasure of the ancient devil nation. First, he would have to go to the ancient devil nation and get to know the higher-ups there. Only then would he be able to borrow the ancient devil coffin. Lu Ming took out a jade card and sank his spiritual sense into it. A map automatically emerged in his mind. This was the map of the Land of Infinite Demons. This was the map that Emperor Wuxia had given to Lu Ming. As an emperor powerhouse, it wasn't strange for him to have a map of the myriad devil land. On the map, the territories of the tens of thousands of demon nations appeared. Lu Ming watched for a while, then rose into the air and flew into the distance. Boom, boom. After flying for a short while, Lu Ming heard a rumbling sound in front of him. There were figures fighting. There were more than 10 figures fighting. Demonic chi billowed and saber light flashed. The people fighting were divided into 2 sides. However, one side was obviously stronger. Every time the saber light flashed, someone would be killed. In a short while, one side was completely killed. The remaining side was all dressed in black robes and carrying demonic sabers. Their eyes were fierce and filled with ruthlessness. Due to the influence of demonic chi, demonic cultivators had strange personalities. Some of them were ruthless, while others were violent. However, they had one thing in common. Demonic cultivators weren't soft-hearted. They were decisive and ruthless. Take the storage rings of these guys. Quick. One of the leaders shouted as he took the storage rings of those who had been killed. Leader, there's a kid over there. Someone saw Lu Ming and swept a cold glance at Lu Ming. Hee, it's just nice that we have some extra income. Kill him. The leader sneered. Whoosh, whoosh. In a flash, 7 or 8 black-robed men surrounded Lu Ming. Kid, hand over your storage ring and we'll leave your corpse intact. one of the black-robed men said coldly. Lu Ming shook his head slightly. He didn't expect to be robbed as soon as he arrived in the land of infinite demons. Before he came, he had heard that the land of infinite demons was chaotic. Most demonic cultivators liked to fight, and it was common for them to kill each other. Today he saw that it was true. However, the strongest of these people was only at the Bright Saint realm. The others were all half-sages. They were overestimating themselves by trying to rob him. Scram! Lu Ming shouted as the aura of a paragon saint burst out. The terrifying aura caused the expressions of the 7 or 8 black-robed men to change drastically. Paragon saint, it's a paragon saint. Senior, please spare our lives. We have eyes but fail to recognize Mount Tai. We'll scram immediately. The 7 or 8 black-robed men were terrified. They were almost scared to death. This was only the border of the land of infinite demons. Normally there wouldn't be any experts here. How could they be so unlucky to have met a young-looking person who was actually a paragon saint? They ran away and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Lu Ming smiled faintly. With their cultivation he couldn't be bothered to kill them. This was just a small interlude in Lu Ming's journey to the land of infinite demons. He continued to fly, but what made Lu Ming depressed was that he would encounter robbers every once in a while. Some of them didn't know what was good for them and wanted to attack Lu Ming, but they were easily killed by Lu Ming. After that, Lu Ming revealed his Paragon Saint realm cultivation as he flew. Many of the robbers felt Lu Ming's cultivation and hurriedly ran away. After flying for more than 10 days, Lu Ming passed by a few low-level devil nations. He found that almost all of them were at war. What made Lu Ming even more depressed was that these low-level devil nations didn't have teleportation formations. They could only rely on flying. After flying for a few more days, Lu Ming's eyes moved and he stopped when he flew past a vast devil mountain. He found a valley where the devil chi was shockingly dense. Such dense devil chi is just right for the Heavenly Emperor's physical body to absorb some energy. Lu Ming thought. The energy stored in the Heavenly Emperor's physical body was almost empty. It needed a large amount of energy to replenish it. The dangers of this trip to the ancient devil nation were unknown. The stronger he was, the better. If the Heavenly Emperor's physical body's energy could be restored to 10%, he would be much more confident. Lu Ming moved his body and headed toward the valley. As soon as Lu Ming got close to the valley, there were beastly roars. A few giant black wolves pounced toward Lu Ming. A great saint realm cultivation. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. These giant wolves had the strength of a great saint realm. Boom. Lu Ming punched out and the giant wolves cried out in pain. They were sent flying and fell to the ground, unable to move. Roar. Chapter 2023. Within the valley, endless roars could be heard. It was as if there were hundreds of thousands of ferocious beasts charging out of the valley at the same time. The strongest is only a boundary emperor. Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. He took a step forward and entered the valley. In front of him, a pack of giant wolves charged toward Lu Ming. There were at least a few hundred of them, including bright saints, great saints, and absolute saints. The giant wolves were all black and exuded a strong demonic aura. Their eyes were filled with ferocity as they pounced toward Lu Ming. Kill? Lu Ming waved his hand and his saint power condensed into long spears. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The long spears pierced through the air and made a sharp whistling sound. Suddenly, the giant wolves were nailed to the ground by the long spears. Regardless of whether they were absolute saints or great saints, they were all killed in a single move. In an instant, dozens of giant wolves were nailed to the ground. The other giant wolves could not help but stop in their tracks. Since it had reached the saint realm, the giant wolves naturally had high spiritual intelligence. At this moment they were looking at Lu Ming in horror. If you don't want to die, get out of my way. Lu Ming shouted coldly. His eyes were like two pitch-black vortexes. Lu Ming cast the soul illusory skill. At this moment, in the eyes of the many giant wolves, he seemed to have transformed into a god of death, slaughtering all living beings. Woo-woo! The rest of the giant wolves cried out in fear and slowly retreated. At this moment, a roar came from the depths of the valley, causing the entire valley to shake violently. Lu Ming saw that there was a huge cave in the depths of the valley. At this moment, a giant wolf walked out of the valley. This giant wolf was at least 100 meters tall, like a small mountain. Its body was black as if it was made of steel. Its demonic aura was extremely dense. Boundary Emperor. This giant wolf was at the Boundary Emperor realm. Lu Ming had sensed it before. Obviously, this giant wolf was the king of this group of giant wolves. It stepped out and swept its cold gaze across the group of giant wolves, causing them to tremble slightly and crawl down. Human, you're courting death. The giant wolf king looked at Lu Ming and said in a cold voice. The next moment, the giant wolf king's forelegs kicked, and its huge body pounced toward Lu Ming, casting a large shadow. In the blink of an eye, the giant wolf pounced in front of Lu Ming. His sharp claws were like knives clawing at Lu Ming. Lu Ming smiled faintly. His sync power surged and his body suddenly rushed out like a beam of light, unbelievably fast. Whoosh. In the next moment, Lu Ming arrived at the head of the giant wolf and smashed down with his fist. Boom. The punch landed directly on the wolf's head, causing it to wail in pain. Its huge body fell to the ground and smashed heavily into the ground. The earth trembled and the valley rumbled continuously. A huge crater appeared on the ground. Lu Ming hadn't used his full strength in this punch, so the giant wolf didn't die. It roared and struggled madly. Lu Ming stomped down, causing the giant wolf to wail. Its head smashed into the ground again, creating a huge crater. If you continue to resist, I'll kill you, Lu Ming said coldly. His entire body emitted an extremely cold killing intent. The giant wolf king shuddered. It knew that it was far from being a match for Lu Ming. If Lu Ming wanted to kill it, it would be as easy as flipping his hand. Human, what are you trying to do? The giant wolf king asked. I'm going to cultivate here for a while. After a while I'll leave. You guys wait outside. If you don't agree, I'll kill all of you. I can still cultivate here. Lu Ming said coldly. Are you really going to leave after a while? The giant wolf king asked. Nonsense, who would be willing to stay in this lousy place for long? Lu Ming curled his lips and took a step forward, walking toward the cave in the depths of the valley. In that cave, the demonic chi was extremely dense. The giant wolf king howled several times, but in the end, it could only lead the wolf pack outside the valley. Such dense demonic chi. Lu Ming walked into the cave and raised his eyebrows. The demonic chi here was denser than he had imagined. It was almost tangible. That's a demonic origin fruit. Suddenly, Lu Ming saw a small tree growing on one of the walls of the cave. On the small tree there were 3 pitch-black fruits. The Great Pill Development Hall focused on refining elixirs. Naturally, Lu Ming had also read a large number of books in the Great Pill Development Hall. He was very familiar with all kinds of precious medicinal herbs and all kinds of heavenly and earthly treasures. Naturally, he recognized this fruit at one glance. Demonic origin fruit was an extremely rare and precious fruit. It was very useful for demonic cultivators. Consuming it could purify demonic chi and increase one's strength. However, these 3 fruits were clearly not fully ripe yet. But from the looks of it, they were not far from ripening. According to records, demonic origin fruits can only grow in places with dense demonic chi. To be able to grow demonic origin fruits here, it's extraordinary, Lu Ming thought to himself. Then he looked around the cave. The cave was very large and led all the way inside. Lu Ming walked into the cave. Soon he made a discovery. There was a small pool. The water was as black as ink and bubbles constantly emerged. The water was filled with extremely dense demonic chi. This is a demonic pool. There's actually a demonic pool here. No wonder the demonic chi is so dense. Lu Ming revealed a look of joy. A demonic pool was the birthplace of demonic chi. There would be an endless stream of demonic chi gushing out. Although this was only a small demonic pool, the demonic chi it contained was already very dense. No wonder it could produce demonic origin fruits. No wonder there was a pack of giant wolves guarding this place. With a thought, the Heavenly Emperor's physical body appeared here. Immediately, Lu Ming operated his cultivation method to control the Heavenly Emperor's physical body and began to absorb the demonic chi here. The demonic chi here was extremely dense. The effect was even better than directly absorbing the origin stones. The surrounding demonic chi frantically gathered toward the Heavenly Emperor's physical body, turning into energy for storage. Just like that, time passed day by day. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 days had passed. The energy of the Heavenly Emperor's physical body had reached about 3%. This speed was already very fast. Back then, Lu Ming had spent more than half a year to store the energy of the Heavenly Emperor's physical body to 12%. On this day, a group of people arrived outside the valley. These people carried demonic sabers on their backs. Their bodies emitted a ferocious aura, and their eyes were like sharp blades. Counting the days, the demonic origin fruits here are about to ripen. It's time to harvest them. A burly man in the lead said. This person's aura was very strong. He was a quasi-emperor. However, there's a pack of demonic wolves residing in this valley. It's not easy to deal with them. Another person said. What's so difficult about it? This pack of ink wolves only has one quasi-emperor ink wolf, while we have 3 quasi-emperors. It's enough to annihilate this pack of demonic wolves. The burly man in the lead said coldly. That's right. Wait a little longer and we'll kill our way in. Another quasi-emperor said. These people began to wait outside the valley. Chapter 2024. Young Master, it's the demonic Saber Mountains people. What should we do now? An old man asked a young master in the clouds. This young master wore embroidered clothes and had a dignified look on his face. That's easy. Let's wait for the demonic Saber Mountains people to fight the huge wolves in the valley first. Then we can just sit back and reap the benefits. The young master smiled faintly. Young master is wise. The people beside the young master immediately flattered him, making the young master feel good. In the blink of an eye, another half a day passed. Attack. At the valley entrance, the demonic Saber Mountains leader waved his hand. Then their figures flashed as they charged into the valley. Roar, roar. The moment they charged into the valley, the huge wolves in the valley discovered them. Immediately, several hundred huge wolves charged at the demonic Saber Mountains people under the lead of the huge wolf king. Whoosh, whoosh. 2 quasi-emperors charged at the huge wolf king from demonic Saber Mountain. The other quasi-emperor charged at the other huge wolves with the rest of the demonic Saber Mountain. The valley immediately descended into a chaotic battle. Although the demonic Saber Mountain had fewer people, they were clearly stronger. The people here were at least great sage. Half of them were absolute sage. Under the lead of a quasi-emperor, a large number of huge wolves were killed. Under the joint attacks of 2 quasi-emperors, the huge wolf king was at a complete disadvantage. Naturally, Lu Ming heard the commotion outside. However, Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He did not go out. Instead, he continued to control the heavenly emperor's body to absorb demonic qi. Soon, the sounds of the battle outside gradually died down. Under the joint attacks of the 2 quasi-emperors, the huge wolf king's head was chopped off by the other party's leader. Most of the other huge wolves were killed as well. The remaining ones scattered like birds and beasts, fleeing this place. Ah! Demonic origin fruit. The demonic Saber Mountains leader revealed a greedy expression as he looked at the cave Lu Ming was in. You think you can obtain the demonic origin fruit with just you? At this moment, a cold voice came from outside the valley. Following that, a group of people charged into the valley. It was the group of people in the clouds earlier. The demonic Saber Mountains leader's expression changed. He looked at the young master's group warily and asked, Master, who are you people? Do you know this one? A pitch-black token appeared in the young master's hand. When the people of Demonic Blade Mountain saw this token, their expressions changed drastically. You are from the ancient Devil Nation. The leader of the Demonic Blade Mountain roared. The Eternal Devil Nation was a super devil nation. Everyone knew that there were only 2 super demonic kingdoms in the entire land of infinite demons. Each of them was shockingly powerful, and the demonic Saber Mountain had no chance against them. So it's the experts from the ancient Devil Nation. Excuse me. Since you've taken a fancy to the demonic origin fruit, we'll let you have it. The Demonic Blade Mountain's leader squeezed out an ugly smile, feeling very unwilling. Why would my Aeon Luo Nation need you to give in to me? What I want is to take it. Attack, kill all of these pieces of trash. The young man's indifferent voice sounded. Kill? The people around the young master immediately charged towards the people of Demonic Blade Mountain. Charge out. The leader of the Demonic Saber Mountain roared and transformed into a demonic saber, wanting to rush out. But in the next moment, 2 figures blocked in front of him. Boundary Emperors. Both of them were Boundary Emperors. What made him despair was that the other 2 Boundary Emperors of the Demonic Saber Mountain faced the same situation as him. They were blocked by 2 Boundary Emperors. The young master had brought a shocking number of experts, and there were at least 6 Boundary Emperors. We've already given up the demonic origin fruit. Why are you still so ruthless? The leader of the Demonic Saber Mountain roared unwillingly. Haha, what a joke. You're born in the land of infinite demons, yet you still ask such a question. Kill. The young master shouted, and his subordinates charged towards the people of the Demonic Saber Mountain. The people brought by the young master were obviously stronger. Immediately, the people of the demonic Saber Mountain were killed one after another. There was no suspense in this battle. Not long after, the people of the demonic Saber Mountain followed in the footsteps of the giant wolf. In fact, they were even more miserable than the giant wolf. None of them managed to escape, and all of them were left here. In the land of infinite demons, such a battle was too common. Especially when treasures were involved, the battle would be even more tragic. Therefore, the demonic cultivators of the land of infinite demons generally had stronger combat strength. In a battle of the same level, their combat strength was probably stronger than the people of the Yuan Mountain land. The young master put away the storage rings of the people of the demonic Saber Mountain and smiled coldly, not caring at all. Then he led the group into the cave. Entering the cave, their eyes lit up. 3 demonic origin fruits. They're not ripe yet, but they'll be ripe in half an hour. An old man judged. Why is the demonic chi here rushing into the cave? Suddenly, some people discovered a problem. The demonic chi here was gathering towards the cave. This was obviously not normal. They had sent experts in to investigate and knew that there was a demonic pool in the depths of the cave. The demonic chi should be spreading towards the outside. There's someone inside. A thought appeared in everyone's mind. In particular, the young master's eyes flashed with a trace of killing intent. Let's go take a look, the young master said coldly. Everyone walked into the cave. Soon they arrived at the demonic pool and saw Lu Ming. Billowing demonic chi was constantly gathering towards the heavenly emperor's body. After more than 10 days of absorption, the demonic chi in the demonic pool had almost dried up. This stone golem is so mysterious. It can actually absorb demonic chi continuously. The demonic chi in the demonic pool is about to dry up. Could it be that the stone golem is absorbing it all? It's a treasure. Everyone was discussing. The young master's eyes flickered with greed. Kid, you actually dare to secretly absorb the demonic chi here. You're courting death, the young master said coldly. At this moment, Lu Ming opened his eyes and casually glanced around. He spat out a word, scram. These words caused the young master's face to instantly darken. Kid, you're courting death. Young master, I'll go kill him. A burly man of the sage realm said. Cripple him first and see what secrets he has. The young master ordered. Understood. The burly man of the sage realm nodded. Then his body moved and like a goshawk pouncing on its prey, he pounced towards Lu Ming. His claws were like knives, grabbing towards Lu Ming at an astonishing speed. Kill. Lu Ming suddenly shouted. 2 rays of sword light shot out from his eyes and charged into the body of the burly man of the sage realm. The burly man of the sage realm screamed as his body fell to the ground. After twitching twice, he stopped breathing. Dead. The young master and the others' expressions changed. With a shout, a sage realm expert had died. What kind of technique was this? Young master, be careful. This kid isn't simple. Chapter 2025. Not simple? How old does he look? How strong can he be? Is he stronger than a boundary emperor? Let's attack together and destroy his cultivation. I want him to kneel in front of me and beg for mercy like a dog. The young man roared. Kill? As soon as the young man finished his words, his subordinates stepped forward one after another. Their powerful auras pressed toward Lu Ming. You're courting death. Lu Ming shook his head slightly. He originally wanted to continue controlling the heavenly emperor's body to absorb the demonic chi, but now he had to stop. With a wave of his hand, the heavenly emperor's body was put away. Lu Ming stood up and a powerful aura spread out. You're just a saint. Die. A boundary emperor shouted coldly and rushed toward Lu Ming like a bolt of lightning. He attacked quickly, but Lu Ming was even faster. He pointed out with his finger. With this point, a terrifying whistling sound rang out in the space as if the space was about to be pierced through. All of the boundary emperor's attacks and defenses were fragile under this finger. No. When the boundary emperor saw Lu Ming's finger magnifying in front of his eyes, he was terrified. He wanted to dodge, but he found that it was too late. Poof. Lu Ming's finger tapped the man's glabella. A terrifying force was emitted and the man's head was directly penetrated. Under this attack, his soul was turned into ashes. Not only that, the force of the finger continued to shoot back with a wisp of blood, penetrating a few more boundary emperors. The remaining boundary emperors gasped, and their expressions changed drastically. Killing a boundary emperor with a single move. This combat strength was too terrifying. Attack together, attack together. The young man roared crazily. Boom, boom. Everyone exploded. At least 7 boundary emperors and some saints attacked. All kinds of attacks flooded toward Lu Ming. But at this moment, a halo appeared on Lu Ming's body. It was the light of chaos. This is the light of law. The light of chaos. This person is the son of chaos. The son of chaos. Many people screamed in horror. It was simply inconceivable. The young man they had randomly encountered here was actually a son of chaos, and he had even cultivated the light of chaos. Lu Ming's light of primal chaos revolved around his body. The surrounding attacks had no effect on him at all. They were all blocked by the light of primal chaos. Lu Ming's figure flashed as he charged at the 2 quasi-emperors, jabbing out 2 fingers consecutively. Buff, buff. These 2 quasi-emperors followed in the footsteps of the previous quasi-emperor. They were pierced by the finger force and died here. Let's go, let's go. Young master, leave quickly. The remaining people roared in fear. How could they dare to continue fighting with Lu Ming? The son of chaos who had cultivated the light of law was too terrifying. They were no match for him at all. Staying behind would only lead to death. At this moment, that young master was already scared out of his wits. A quasi-emperor pulled him along as they ran outside. All of you stay, Lu Ming said coldly. As his figure flashed, he jabbed out with another finger and killed another quasi-emperor. Lu Ming moved as fast as lightning. Every time he jabbed out, he could kill a quasi-emperor. Ordinary quasi-emperors could only be instantly killed by Lu Ming. The young master had brought a total of 8 quasi-emperors. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming killed 7, leaving only the last quasi-emperor to flee with the young master. Whoosh, whoosh. This time, Lu Ming instantly jabbed out dozens of times. The entire sky was filled with finger shadows and finger forces. As the finger forces swept out, the remaining quasi-emperors all fell here. Since these people wanted to kill Shao Qian, he did not show mercy. Furthermore, these quasi-emperors looked like they had extraordinary backgrounds. Lu Ming had just arrived in the land of 10,000 demons. If he let these people leave, they would definitely seek revenge. This would be extremely detrimental to Lu Ming's future plans. Hence he could only kill. The quasi-emperors fell one by one. Soon, only the young master and that quasi-emperor remained. At this moment, the young master's complexion was snow-white, without any trace of blood. Although the quasi-emperor had already brought him out of the cave, they were still intercepted by Lu Ming in the valley. Don't kill me. I'm from the ancient devil nation. Killing me won't do you any good. The young master roared. It won't do me any good if I don't kill you, Lu Ming said coldly. Then he jabbed out a finger. A huge chaotic calamity finger was formed, crushing toward the young master and the last quasi-emperor. The young master roared and unleashed his full strength. He was in the Supreme Saint Great Success realm. Moreover, his spiritual body was a superior earth spiritual body. He could be said to be a rare genius. Moreover, he took out an emperor weapon to block with all his might. It was obvious that this person's identity was extraordinary. All the more reason he should not be left alive. The chaotic calamity finger crushed the 2 quasi-emperors. Their resistance was futile. Under the chaotic calamity finger, they turned into ashes. Next, Lu Ming's figure flashed and collected everyone's storage rings. Of course, Lu Ming also collected the young master's emperor weapon. Then Lu Ming waited there for half an hour. Half an hour later, the demonic origin fruit ripened. Lu Ming plucked the demonic origin fruit and soared into the sky, leaving the place. It was not wise to stay there for long. Who knew if the forces behind the other party would come looking for him? Anyway, the demonic chi in the demonic pool was almost completely absorbed. The energy stored in the heavenly emperor's body was close to 4%. It was a great harvest. Then Lu Ming flew at full speed toward the nearest medium-sized devil nation. A medium-sized devil nation should have a teleportation formation. The land of infinite devils was vast and boundless. It was not smaller than Yuan Mountain. Who knew how long it would take to fly to the ancient devil nation? After flying for a few days, Lu Ming, who was flying, suddenly stopped. That was because there was a purple-black-red light in front of him that was flying toward him rapidly. Lu Ming could see it from afar. It was a beautiful woman. She was wearing a tight purple dress that showed off her voluptuous figure. She was a seductive woman. But at this moment, the woman was a little panicked and was flying rapidly. Whoosh, whoosh. Behind the woman, streaks of light streaked across the sky and flew towards her. Obviously, the woman was being chased. At this moment, the woman also saw Lu Ming. She continued to fly toward Lu Ming and said, "Help me block those people behind me. I won't treat you unfairly." Although her expression was a little panicked, there was still a trace of cold arrogance in her voice. In Lu Ming's ears, it was as if she was ordering him to do something. Lu Ming furrowed his brows. He retreated and flew in another direction, distancing himself from the beautiful lady. He was not related to the woman, so he did not want to meddle in her business. Help me quickly. I will reward you handsomely. Whatever you need, just tell me. Chapter 2026. The young lady was being chased by the enemy. Although Lu Ming looked young and might not be that strong, as long as he could hold them off for a while, she would have a better chance of escaping. I'm sorry, but I don't have the strength to help you. Lu Ming shook his head and retreated even faster, pulling away from the beautiful lady. Seeing that Lu Ming wasn't willing to help her, the beautiful lady could only grit her teeth and fly in another direction. Before she left, she glared at Lu Ming as though blaming Lu Ming for not helping her. Lu Ming rubbed his nose. His goal was to go to the ancient devil nation. He didn't want to be a busybody. In the blink of an eye, the beautiful lady disappeared from his sight. The pursuers behind her also chased after her. To Lu Ming, this was just a small interlude. He continued on his way and flew towards the nearest intermediate devil nation. After a few days, he finally arrived at the outskirts of the intermediate devil nation. This intermediate devil nation did have a teleportation circle. Where do you want to go? A burly man in charge of the teleportation circle asked Lu Ming. I want to go to the capital of the ancient devil nation. Lu Ming said. The capital of the ancient devil nation? Kid, aren't you from the land of infinite devils? Intermediate devil nations like us don't have the qualifications to teleport directly to the capital of the ancient devil nation. If you want to go to the capital, you have to go to a high-grade devil nation and go from there. The burly man said. There was such a rule? Lu Ming was speechless. It seemed like he could only go to a high-grade devil nation and go from there to the capital of the ancient devil nation. Alright, I'll go to the high-grade devil nation first. Lu Ming said. The nearest high-grade devil nation is the Yura Kingdom. I suggest you go to the Yura Kingdom first. The burly man said. Alright, thank you. Lu Ming clasped his fists and paid the teleportation fee. He then stepped into the teleportation circle. In the next moment, Lu Ming disappeared from the teleportation array and arrived at another place. Lu Ming walked out of the teleportation circle and asked around. He found that he had already arrived in the Yura Kingdom. This was a citadel outside the capital of the Yura Kingdom. The Yura Kingdom is one of the top 10 devil kingdoms in the land of infinite demons. They are extremely powerful. Why don't I go to the capital of the Yura Kingdom and ask about the eternal devil kingdom? Lu Ming pondered. The Yura Kingdom was one of the top 10 devil kingdoms in the land of myriad devils. There was no need to doubt its strength. Lu Ming wanted to see just how strong the top forces of the land of myriad devils were. That way he would be able to judge the overall strength of the land of myriad devils. Furthermore, even if he were to go to the capital of the ancient devil kingdom right now, he wouldn't know where to start. He couldn't just run to the capital of the ancient devil nation and yell that he wanted to borrow the ancient devil coffin, right? If he did that, he would be lucky if they didn't kill him. Therefore, he needed to plan for the long term. Thinking of this, Lu Ming did not go to the capital of the ancient devil nation. Instead, he flew to the capital of the Yura Kingdom. The capital of the Dark Azura Devil Kingdom was abnormally majestic, vast. Whether it was the city walls or the buildings inside, most of them were built with a kind of pitch-black stone that was filled with a domineering aura. Lu Ming walked on the streets of the Yura Kingdom and found that there were a lot of experts here. Each of them was emitting a demonic aura and a baleful aura. Lu Ming secretly observed and found that there were many Sage Realm experts and quasi-emperors. They could even see martial monarchs emitting emperors might walking on the streets. Lu Ming found that the quality of experts in the land of myriad devils was higher than in the primordial mountain. Kid, it's you. Suddenly, a cold and arrogant voice sounded. At the same time, a cold aura shrouded Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming frowned. The voice just now was obviously targeted at him. However, he had just arrived in the Yura Kingdom and did not know anyone. Lu Ming looked in the direction of the voice. It's her? Lu Ming was stunned. Not far away, a beautiful woman in a tight purple dress was looking at Lu Ming coldly. Wasn't this woman the one who was being chased a few days ago and asked Lu Ming for help? He did not expect to meet her here. This was too much of a coincidence. Lu Ming was speechless. The young woman's aura was very cold and it shrouded Lu Ming. It's the first princess. Who is that kid? He seems to have made the first princess unhappy. He's finished? Around them many people stopped to watch in disgust. First princess? Lu Ming was speechless. Could this person be the first princess of the Yura kingdom? First princess, is this the person who left you in the lurch? There were a few people beside the beautiful woman. One of them was a young man. Yes, it's him. The first princess replied coldly. At that time he was being chased by the enemy and met Lu Ming. He asked Lu Ming for help, but Lu Ming did not help him. Fortunately, he met with reinforcements later and escaped danger. He did not expect to meet Lu Ming in the Yura kingdom. Thinking of Lu Ming's attitude at that time, a cold light flashed in the first princess' eyes. Leaving the first princess in the lurch? I'll go and cripple him. Behind the first princess, a skinny old man said coldly. His figure moved and he rushed towards Lu Ming. A demonic palm print blasted towards Lu Ming, bringing gusts of wind with it. The first princess did not stop him. She just watched indifferently. Get lost. Lu Ming shouted coldly. He also blasted out a palm and collided with the skinny old man's palm. Boom. With a loud bang, the skinny old man's body shook violently. His body flew back at an even faster speed and fell to the ground, vomiting blood. Lu Ming had shown mercy. He had just arrived and did not want to cause trouble. Otherwise, the skinny old man would have been dead. Many people were shocked. That skinny old man was a supreme saint, but he was injured by Lu Ming in one move. This young man's combat power is not weak. Many people thought, how dare you fight back? You're courting death. The young man beside the first princess shouted coldly. His gaze was as cold as a blade. Whoosh. He took a step forward and rushed towards Lu Ming like a phantom. Lu Ming frowned and a trace of anger rose in his heart. In the wilderness he met the first princess. He was not related to the first princess, so why did he save her? It was his freedom to save her or not. But now, the other party wanted to cripple his cultivation and even kill him because of this. How domineering. Boom. The young man attacked. He also blasted out a palm. His palm power was like a landslide pressing towards Lu Ming. This young man was very strong. He was many times stronger than the skinny old man. Not only had his cultivation reached the peak of the Supreme Saint realm, but he also had a superior spiritual body. Get lost. Lu Ming frowned and shouted. He also blasted out a palm. Dark lightning flashed in his palm. His palm collided with the other party's palm print. The result was almost the same as the skinny old man's. Chapter 2027. Many people were stunned as they looked at the young man who was twitching on the ground. This young man was no ordinary person. He was very famous in the Yura kingdom. He was the son of the Grand Marshal of the Yura kingdom. His name was Ji Peng and his name was known throughout the Yura kingdom. In the Yura kingdom, Ji Peng was considered one of the top geniuses among the younger generation, except for a few people with king bodies. Someone once made a list of the top 10 geniuses in the Yura kingdom, except for those with king bodies. Ji Peng was ranked 9th among the top 10 geniuses. Of course, Ji Peng was ranked after the king body, but it was still not a trivial matter. But now Ji Peng was defeated by Lu Ming in one move. Lu Ming's strength was absolutely amazing. Who is this person? He looks very young but he has such combat power. He's even stronger than Ji Peng. Could it be that he has a king body? It's not a king body. When he attacked just now there was a flash of demonic lightning. It should be the law of demonic lightning, not the king body. In the Yura kingdom, apart from those with king bodies, this person can be ranked in the top 10 or even the top 8. Some of the onlookers were whispering. That's right. Lu Ming did not use the law of primal chaos, nor did he use the law of array. Instead, he used the law of primal chaos to transform it into the law of demonic lightning. He used the law of demonic lightning to cover his saint power, making him look like a demonic cultivator. The eldest princess looked at Lu Ming with surprise. Lu Ming's strength was stronger than she had imagined. Whoosh. At this moment, Ji Peng turned over and stood up. Cold murderous intent erupted from his body as he roared, "Kid, I didn't use my full strength just now. Come again and I'll kill you." Ji Peng roared and his aura became even more violent. Just now he was careless and did not use his full strength. He did not even use his divine art, which was why he was sent flying by Lu Ming. Lu Ming frowned. He had already shown mercy, but the other party did not know when to back down. So, he could not blame him for not being polite. There was a glint in Lu Ming's eyes. "Alright, stop." At this moment, the first princess's voice rang out, causing Ji Peng to freeze. "First princess, this person is too audacious. He even dares to hit the princess's people. Let me cripple him. Ji Peng's gaze was cold. He did not want to let Lu Ming off just like that. He didn't use his full strength just now. If we really fought, you might not be his match. Both of you would only suffer. You should leave first. I have something to ask him. The first princess said. Eldest princess, let us leave. What if this brat makes a move? An old man said worriedly. You think he can hurt me? The first princess countered. The others didn't say anything. With the first princess's strength, how could this person hurt her? Then take care of yourself, first princess. Ji Peng's eyes flickered a few times and then he looked at Lu Ming and said, Kid, consider yourself lucky today. I'll spare your life. After saying that, he led the others away. Goodbye. Lu Ming cupped his fists and turned to leave. He instinctively felt that this eldest princess was not a good person, and he was too lazy to have anything to do with her. Why are you in such a hurry to leave? The grand princess moved and chased after Lu Ming like a ray of light. She was as light as a feather. Lu Ming frowned and soared into the sky. However, the first princess also soared into the sky and followed Lu Ming. First princess, what are you trying to do? Lu Ming stopped and asked with a frown. Your strength is not bad. I can feel that even if Ji Ping used his full strength to fight with you just now, I'm afraid he wouldn't be your match. Join me and be my guest. The first princess spoke, her expression still carrying a trace of cold arrogance and loftiness. Not interested. Lu Ming turned and left. I won't let you be my guest forever. As long as you work for me in these 3 months, you can leave after 3 months. The first princess continued to speak, but Lu Ming had no intention of stopping. A cold light flashed in the first princess' eyes. If not for the fact that she was in urgent need of talents recently, she would have already attacked Lu Ming for treating her with such an attitude. I won't let you do anything dangerous. I just want you to help me fight against the geniuses of the Yuluo Empire 1 month later. You can name any conditions you want. The first princess continued to follow. Oh. At this moment, Lu Ming suddenly stopped and looked at the first princess. I can name any conditions? As long as it's not too much. The first princess said. I want to know someone from the ancient Devil Nation's imperial family. Can you introduce me? Lu Ming said. If the first princess could introduce someone from the ancient Devil Nation's imperial family to him, it would save him a lot of trouble and he could agree to it temporarily. Besides, the first princess only wanted to be his guest for 3 months and fight against the geniuses of the Yuluo Empire. This was not a big deal for Lu Ming, so there was no harm in agreeing. And here I thought it was something big. The Emperor of the Ionic Devil Kingdom just recently passed another tribulation of heaven and earth. In 3 months he'll be holding a grand banquet. Countless devil kingdoms will be there to celebrate, and the serene Azura Devil Kingdom will be there as well. Of course, we'll be able to recommend you. The first princess said. Lu Ming was overjoyed. The king of the ancient devil nation had just passed a great tribulation and was going to hold a grand banquet. This was an opportunity for Lu Ming. Alright, I agree to be your guest, but only for 3 months. If you ask me to fight against martial monarchs, I can only refuse. Lu Ming said. Don't worry. Why would I ask you to fight against martial monarchs? Seeing Lu Ming agree, the first princess smiled. Take this guest elder token. A token appeared in the first princess' hand and she threw it to Lu Ming. Lu Ming caught it and put it away. Come with me to the first princess residence. I will arrange a place for you. The first princess said. Lu Ming nodded. The first princess residence was very spacious. The first princess arranged a courtyard for Lu Ming. It was very big and quiet. On the way, Lu Ming learned that the first princess' name was Yuning. After arranging a place for Lu Ming, the first princess left. In the next few days, Lu Ming secretly asked around and learned a lot. It turned out that when the Yura Kingdom was founded, it was jointly founded by 2 great Devil Path clans. However, after the founding of the Yura Kingdom, it became a problem as to which clan would be in charge of the Yura Kingdom. It was stipulated that every 10,000 years, the 2 clans would send out geniuses of the younger generation to fight. The winner would continue to rule the Yura Kingdom for 10,000 years. As for the first princess Yuning, she belonged to the Yu family. The Yu family had been in control of the Yuluo Devil Kingdom for 20,000 years. There was only a month left before the samsara that occurred once every 10,000 years arrived. The geniuses of the 2 great families would compete to determine which family would be in control of the Yuluo Devil Kingdom. Therefore, the first princess Yuning had been secretly gathering geniuses to increase her strength. Chapter 2028. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 days passed. In these 10 days, Lu Ming cultivated in peace in the first princess residence every day. Now, his law of primal chaos had reached 97%, and his law of array had reached 99%. It could be said that he was very close to perfection, but the closer he was to perfection, the harder it was to improve. Many people's laws stopped at 99% for hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of years. Even the stellar river had stayed there for a long time. To break through, one needed to accumulate. When one's comprehension of the laws was enough, success would naturally follow naturally. On this day, while Lu Ming was cultivating, Ji Peng led a few people into the first princess residence with a gloomy face and walked towards the courtyard where Lu Ming lived. Ji Peng's identity was not trivial, so naturally no one stopped him. After arriving at Lu Ming's courtyard, Ji Peng directly kicked the door open and walked in with a gloomy face. "Lu Ming, get out here!" Ji Peng shouted coldly. In the room, Lu Ming, who was cultivating, opened his eyes and a sharp light flashed in his eyes. Lu Ming walked out of the room unhurriedly and saw Ji Peng looking at him coldly. More than 10 days ago, Lu Ming sent him flying with a palm in public, causing him to twitch on the ground and lose face. During this period, he had been brooding and looking for an opportunity to take revenge. Later, when he heard that Lu Ming had become the first princess guest, he was even more furious. After enduring for a few days, he finally couldn't help but look for Lu Ming. "Kid, I know your purpose. You want to become the first princess guest and get close to her. Now I'll give you a chance, get out of the first princess residence." Ji Peng said coldly. "The first princess asked you to come?" Lu Ming said. "There is no need for the first princess to instruct me on this matter," Ji Peng said. "I'm the first princess guest, not yours. Since the first princess didn't ask, then who are you to make me leave?" Lu Ming replied indifferently. These words caused Ji Peng's expression to become even gloomier. "Brat, you'd better get out yourself. Otherwise I'll break your limbs and throw you out," Ji Peng said coldly. "Scram." Lu Ming coldly spat out a word. He had already lost his patience. "Brat, what kind of attitude is that? How dare you speak to the second young master like that? I'll cripple you." Beside Ji Peng, a burly man rushed over and punched towards Lu Ming's dantian. He wanted to cripple Lu Ming's cultivation. The burly man was at the peak of the absolute saint realm. He punched out and the terrifying fist force made the space around him shriek. Sizzle! Lu Ming circulated the law of primal chaos and converted it into the law of demonic thunder. Lightning swam around his body as though he was wearing a lightning armor. Whoosh! With a flash, Lu Ming punched out, meeting the burly man's fist. Sizzle! Lightning spread out and instantly destroyed the burly man's attack. Black lightning covered the burly man's body, and he couldn't help but retreat. Then Lu Ming stepped forward and slapped the burly man's body. The burly man was sent flying and fell to the ground, twitching non-stop. The eyes of Ji Peng and the others glistened. Lu Ming's combat strength was stronger than they had imagined. A peak absolute saint was defeated in 2 moves. Even Ji Peng himself might not be able to do so. "Let's attack together," Ji Peng roared. His body was like a rock spreading its wings as he flew towards Lu Ming. He shook his arms and a mysterious light shone from them. They were like the wings of a rock or 2 heavenly blades. 2 rays of light shot out towards Lu Ming. This was his divine power. When he exchanged blows with Lu Ming the last time, he did not cast his divine power. At the same time, the other 2 moved as well. These 2 were peak absolute saints as well. They used their superpower to attack Lu Ming. Their attacks were ruthless. If Lu Ming couldn't defeat them, he would be killed. Give an inch and you want a mile. Lu Ming's eyes became colder. A long spear was formed in his hand, covered with a layer of black lightning. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. He stabbed out 3 times in a row. With 3 consecutive explosions, Lu Ming blocked the attacks of Ji Peng and the other 2. Then Lu Ming seemed to have turned into lightning. In a flash, he appeared in front of an elder in the peak absolute saint realm. The lightning spear pierced through the elder's dantian at an astonishing speed, shattering his saint heart. The elder howled in pain and flew out. He fell to the ground and screamed. Lu Ming had already crippled this person's cultivation. Then Lu Ming moved again and appeared in front of the remaining absolute saint. With another thrust of his spear, he crippled this person's cultivation. Ji Peng was scared out of his wits after 2 people were destroyed in a row. He quickly retreated, wanting to escape. He didn't dare to fight at all. But in a flash, Lu Ming caught up with Ji Peng. Lu Ming had turned the law of chaos into the law of demonic thunder, so its power was greatly reduced. However, Lu Ming's spiritual body and saint power were both far above Ji Peng's. Ji Peng was no match for him at all. He tried his best, but he was still crushed by Lu Ming. Crack. Lu Ming broke one of Ji Peng's arms with a palm strike. Then he broke one of Ji Peng's legs with a kick. Crack. Crack. After several explosions, Ji Peng's limbs were broken by Lu Ming. He lay on the ground like a dead dog. Get lost. Lu Ming kicked a few times consecutively, sending Ji Peng and his subordinates flying out of the courtyard. After all, this was the Yura Kingdom, the first princess residence. He couldn't kill Ji Peng. If he really killed Ji Peng, he would have to run. This wasn't Lu Ming's goal. He still needed the first princess to introduce him to the royal family of the ancient devil nation. Brat, just you wait. Ji Peng's vicious voice came from outside the courtyard. He had just said that he would break Lu Ming's limbs and throw him out. In the end, his limbs were broken and he was thrown out like a dead dog. This made him furious. Lu Ming frowned. If Ji Peng went too far, he wouldn't mind killing him and leaving the Yura Kingdom. He would think of other ways. The next morning, a group of people came to the first princess residence to meet her. Ji Peng was among the group. However, this group wasn't led by Ji Peng. It was his elder brother and one of his uncles. General Ji, Brother Ji, please take a seat. In a large hall, the first princess received Ji Peng and the others. However, her gaze was fixed on the middle-aged man in the lead and a youth with a cold expression. This middle-aged man was Ji Peng's uncle, the younger brother of the Yura Kingdom's first marshal. He was also a general of the Yura Kingdom. As for the youth, he was Ji Peng's elder brother, one of the top geniuses of the Yura Kingdom. He had a terrifying king-type body. First princess, we're here to ask for a person from you. Ji Peng's uncle said. You want a person? Oh. The first princess was slightly taken aback and frowned. Chapter 2029. Lu Ming is the bastard who didn't save the princess. Ji Peng said coldly. Lu Ming. What happened to him? The princess was confused. Eldest princess, for no reason yesterday, Lu Ming crippled the cultivation of 2 perfected holy saints of the Ji family and broke Ji Peng's limbs. He has to pay the price for his actions. Ji Peng's elder brother said coldly. Ji Peng's elder brother was called Ji Tian. I didn't expect such a thing to happen. The eldest princess raised her eyebrows. She then instructed the servant, get Lu Ming here. Lu Ming was cultivating when he heard noises outside. He got up and came out. Young Master Lu, the princess wants to see you. A middle-aged guard said. They're here so quickly. Lu Ming's heart stirred. His first thought was that the Ji family had come looking for him. All right. Lu Ming nodded and followed the middle-aged guard to the princess's hall. It's the Ji family. Lu Ming saw Ji Peng as soon as he entered the hall. Ji Peng and the others looked at Lu Ming coldly. Lu Ming, did you cripple the cultivations of the Ji family yesterday? The first princess sat at the head of the table and asked with a cold and arrogant expression. That's right. Lu Ming replied. How dare you? Even the Ji family is touched. Kill yourself and I'll leave your corpse intact. Ji Peng's uncle slammed the table and said coldly. What a joke. They wanted to kill me. Can't I fight back? Lu Ming sneered. Do you know who you're talking to? Look at your attitude. Ji Peng's uncle's gaze was like lightning. He swept his gaze toward Lu Ming and a strong pressure emanated from him. Lu Ming's expression changed and he took a few steps back. Ji Peng's uncle was definitely a terrifying expert. It seems like the Ji family doesn't even care about the princess. Lu Ming said coldly. Ji Peng's uncle's expression changed and he retracted his aura. After all, this was the princess's residence and Lu Ming was the princess's subordinate. He would cross the line if he attacked without the princess's permission. Princess, this person crippled the cultivations of the Ji family and injured Ji Peng. He must be punished. Otherwise, how can the Ji family lead the army? Ji Tian said coldly. Lu Ming, what happened? The princess asked. Lu Ming's combat strength was good and would be useful to her in the future. She didn't want Lu Ming to be crippled. First princess, yesterday Ji Peng brought several people from the Ji family to my courtyard. They threatened to cripple me and directly attacked me. I was only protecting myself. If I hadn't attacked, I would already be dead. Lu Ming recounted what had happened yesterday. I see. The princess nodded. Ji Peng, you went too far this time. Lu Ming is after all my guest. However, Lu Ming was too heavy-handed. How about this? I'll take out some treasures to compensate the Ji family. Also, Lu Ming, you apologize to the Ji family in front of everyone. How about that? Apologize to the Ji family? Lu Ming furrowed his brows. What did he do wrong for him to apologize? How was that possible? No, at least cripple his limbs and make him apologize in front of everyone. Ji Ping shouted. That's right, this person must be punished. Ji Tian said. In my opinion, both of you should take a step back. Lu Ming will apologize in public and give some compensation. Then this matter will be settled. How about that? The princess spoke again. At the same time, she transmitted her voice to Lu Ming. Lu Ming, Ji Peng's father, is the country's grand marshal. The Ji family is extremely powerful. You should bear with it, apologize to the Ji family and give them some compensation. Take a step back and you'll be at ease. Lu Ming sneered. Take a step back and you'll be at ease? This matter was not his fault, yet the princess wanted him to apologize. It was obvious that she didn't want to offend the Ji family. However, the Ji family didn't want to let this matter rest. Princess, we can give you face today and not deal with him for the time being. However, Princess must drive this person out of the princess residence. Ji Peng's uncle said. Ji Peng, Ji Tian and the rest sneered. Driven out of the princess residence, without the protection of the grand princess, with their Ji family strength, they could kill Lu Ming no matter how they wanted Lu Ming to die. The princess frowned. She naturally understood the Ji family's intention. However, Lu Ming's battle prowess wasn't bad. Since he could defeat Ji Peng, his battle prowess must be above Ji Peng's. He would be of great help in the battle against the Luo family 20 days later. It would be a pity to give him up just like that. Grand Princess, our Ji family has always been on your side. If this brat affects our relationship, I'm afraid it won't be worth it for Grand Princess. Ji Peng's uncle said nonchalantly, hinting at something. The princess's expression turned ugly. The Ji family was threatening her. However, she had to compromise. The Ji family's strength was extremely powerful. If they helped the Luo family, it would affect her greatly. The most important thing was Ji Tian. Ji Tian had the king physique. In the entire Yura kingdom, the number of people with the king physique could be counted on one hand. In the battle against the Luo family 20 days later, Ji Tian would play a crucial role in determining the outcome. Thus, she had to hold the Ji family in her hands no matter what. She couldn't ruin their relationship. Thoughts flashed through the princess's mind. Grand Princess, you have to think carefully. My elder brother has the king physique. He can determine the outcome of the battle against the Luo family. Ji Ping said coldly when he saw that the princess didn't say anything. With that, he cast a disdainful glance at Lu Ming. What he meant was, so what if you have some battle prowess? Can you be compared to my elder brother? Can you be compared to the king physique? The princess raised her eyebrows slightly. Ji Peng's words made her unhappy. However, she couldn't lose the support of the Ji family. Thus, she made a decision after pondering for a while. The princess looked at Lu Ming and said, Lu Ming, you've gone too far this time. You've broken the rules. So, please leave the princess residence. As expected, Lu Ming sneered. The princess had chosen the Ji family. In her opinion, Lu Ming was just a talent with some battle prowess. However, he couldn't be compared to the Ji family. In particular, Ji Tian, who had the king physique, could play a key role in the battle against the Luo family. The Ji family sneered. As long as Lu Ming left the princess residence, he would be dead. All right. Lu Ming didn't say anything else. He turned and left. Since the princess had chosen the Ji family, why should he stay? After taking a few steps, Lu Ming stopped and turned to look at Ji Tian. He said lightly, King physique? Is it that great? After that, Lu Ming turned and strode away, disappearing from the main hall. He's just a frog at the bottom of a well. I'm afraid he doesn't know how powerful the king physique is. Soon he will know how powerful the king physique is. Some people from the Ji family mocked. Chapter 2030. Lu Ming didn't stop. However, he didn't leave the first princess's residence immediately. Instead, he circled around the first princess's residence a few times before arriving at a secret location. There, he used his divine aura technique to transform into a middle-aged man. This middle-aged man was one of the guards of the first princess's residence. The Ji family had asked the first princess to chase him out of the first princess's residence. It was very likely that there would be experts stationed outside the residence. As long as he went out, he would be ambushed. Naturally, he wasn't afraid of the younger generation. However, there was no guarantee that the other party wouldn't send out Emperor Realm experts. Lu Ming turned into a guard and swaggered out of the princess's residence. When he walked out of the princess's residence as expected, he sensed a few spiritual senses sweeping over him. Among them there were two extremely terrifying spiritual senses. It was obvious that they belonged to Emperor Realm experts. However, they couldn't see through Lu Ming's divine aura technique. Lu Ming turned around and looked at the first princess's residence. He sneered in his heart, "First princess, we will meet again soon. I hope you won't regret it." Lu Ming's lips curled into a faint smile as he walked away. The first princess's residence was located in the western part of the Yura Kingdom's capital. Lu Ming walked towards the eastern part of the capital. The eastern part of the capital was the territory of the Luo family. The Yu family and the Luo family were the two families that founded the Yura Kingdom. Since the first princess couldn't tolerate him, he could only go to the Luo family. The little princess of the Luo family, Luo Xian. Lu Ming muttered. There was a strange phenomenon in the younger generation of the Yu family and the Luo family. The most outstanding geniuses of the two families were all women. The most outstanding genius of the Yu family was the first princess, Yu Ning. She was also the representative of the Yu family and the leader of the younger generation. As for the leader of the Luo family's younger generation, she was called Luo Xian. She was also a peerless genius and was as famous as Yu Ning. However, she was younger than Yu Ning by a few years. Hence, everyone called her the little princess. Lu Ming wanted to rely on Luo Xian. Yu Ning could recommend him to the royal family of the ancient devil nation. Naturally, Luo Xian could do the same. Soon, Lu Ming arrived in front of a magnificent mansion. This was the residence of the little princess, Luo Xian. At this point, Lu Ming had already returned to his original appearance. Stop. In front of the gate, two big men stopped Lu Ming. Gentlemen, I'm here to visit the little princess. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said, Of course I know. You're here to visit the little princess. Every day many people come to visit the little princess. Boy, I advise you not to flatter yourself. Hurry up and leave. A burly man waved his hand, signaling Lu Ming to leave. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. Apparently, the other party thought that he was deliberately trying to get close to the little princess and wanted to pursue the little princess. The two of you, I am here to be the little princess guest. 20 days from now, in the battle with the Yu family, I will help the little princess obtain victory. Lu Ming said. The two burly men were stunned. They looked at Lu Ming as though they were looking at a fool. They had seen many people looking for all sorts of reasons to get close to the little princess. They had also heard all sorts of strange reasons. However, this was the first time they had seen someone like Lu Ming who boasted so shamelessly. Ah boy, you really boast shamelessly. Help the little princess obtain victory? This reason of yours is still fresh. However, if you dare to fool the little princess, you might lose your life. Boy, we'll let you off this time. Hurry up and leave. The two burly men waved their hands, signaling Lu Ming to leave quickly. The two of you just need to inform the princess. What if what I said is true? What if I can really help the little princess obtain victory? If because of your obstruction, I have to rely on the eldest princess and help her obtain victory. If the little princess finds out about this, what will happen to the two of you? Lu Ming didn't get angry and said indifferently. The two burly men's faces changed. They were sure that Lu Ming was boasting shamelessly. However, they were still afraid of what if. If Lu Ming really had the ability to do so, and because of their obstruction he decided to side with the eldest princess in a fit of anger and help the eldest princess win, then they would be sinners and the Luo family would not let them off. The two of them looked at each other and nodded silently. It was just a matter of informing the princess. It wouldn't take much effort. If Lu Ming didn't have real ability and was just boasting, someone would naturally take care of him. Alright, wait here. I'll go and inform the princess. One of the burly men said and then hurried in to inform the princess. A moment later, the burly man returned and said, The little princess wants to see you. Come with me. Lu Ming smiled and walked into the depths of the mansion with the burly man. Boy, you'd better have some real ability. Otherwise you'll be miserable. The burly man reminded him on the way. Thank you. Lu Ming smiled. His expression was calm and there was a faint smile on his face. The burly man was puzzled. Could it be that this boy really had real ability? The mansion was very large. After making a few large turns, they arrived at a large hall. There were only 3 people in the hall. At the head of the hall sat a woman. She wore a black veil and looked to be around 20 years old. This woman was extremely beautiful. She was even more beautiful than the eldest princess Yuning. At this time, this woman was blinking her large eyes, curiously sizing up Lu Ming. To the left and right of the woman were two youths. At this time, their eyes were like lightning as they looked at Lu Ming. This subordinate greets the princess. The burly man bowed to the woman. Stand to the side. The beautiful woman, the little princess Luo Xian, waved her hand. Her eyes were still on Lu Ming. You said that you can help me defeat Yuning and the Yu family? Luo Xian asked, her voice clear and pleasant. That's right. Lu Ming nodded. Hey, let me tell you, you can't lie to me. If you lie to me, I'll make you miserable. Do you know that? Luo Xian had two canine teeth. As she spoke, her canine teeth were revealed. She was quite cute. Although she wanted to speak fiercely, she didn't have any killing intent. Little princess will know whether this brat is capable or not after we try. If he's boasting shamelessly, I'll throw him out and feed him to the dogs. A purple-robed youth on the left said coldly. At the same time he stepped out and forced Lu Ming. Luo Xian didn't stop him. She watched curiously. Brat, show me what you're capable of. Otherwise you won't have a chance. The purple-robed youth said coldly. His body turned into a ray of purple light as he charged towards Lu Ming. He waved his hand, and a ray of purple sword light cut through the void and slashed towards Lu Ming. Complete Saint Realm. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. This purple-robed youth's cultivation was at the complete Saint Realm. Moreover, Lu Ming could see that his spiritual body was a high-grade spiritual body. It was even stronger than Ji Peng's spiritual body. The purple-robed youth used 90% of his strength in this attack. It was very powerful. However, Lu Ming still had a faint smile on his face. It was as if he didn't see the purple-robed youth's attack. Indeed, he's a shameless boaster. Another youth on the right sneered. However, at this moment Lu Ming moved. Chapter 2031. Lu Ming stretched out a finger and tapped lightly on the purple-robed young man's sword light. Bang! The purple-robed young man's sword light instantly shattered. At the same time, dense runes appeared on Lu Ming's finger and covered the purple-robed young man. The purple-robed young man was shocked and quickly retreated, but it was too late. Before he could get far, his body was covered by the runes. He felt that his cultivation was sealed and he fell to the ground with a plop. The three people at the scene were all dumbfounded. The purple-robed young man was defeated in one move. The purple-robed young man was not an ordinary person. He was very famous in the Yura kingdom and was even more famous than Ji Peng. Other than the king body, there were 10 strongest geniuses in the Yura kingdom. Ji Peng was ranked 9th and the purple-robed young man was ranked 5th. Such geniuses were no match for Lu Ming and were defeated by Lu Ming in one move. Array Dao La, you have a king body. At this moment, Princess Luo Xian stood up from her seat and looked at Lu Ming with bright eyes. King body. The hearts of the others in the hall were greatly shaken. In the entire Yura kingdom, there were only a few people with a king body. This young man had a king body. No wonder he could defeat the purple-robed young man in one move. Especially the burly guard who was guarding the door. He was secretly afraid. He thought that Lu Ming was boasting shamelessly and was just looking for an excuse to get close to the princess. Now it seemed that they were wrong. Lu Ming was the real deal. Fortunately, he came in to pass the message. Otherwise, as Lu Ming said, if he went to seek refuge with the eldest princess, they would really be finished. At this moment, Lu Ming waved his hand and the runes covering the purple-robed young man disappeared. The purple-robed young man stood up and looked at Lu Ming seriously. Are you really going to seek refuge with me and be my guest? Princess Luo Xian looked at Lu Ming curiously. Of course. Why else would I be here? Lu Ming smiled. Why do you want to join me? The little princess continued to ask. The little princess is a peerless beauty, a famous beauty. If I don't rely on you, who will I rely on? Lu Ming replied with a smile. The little princess giggled. She laughed so hard that her eyes narrowed into slits. I like your reason. However, Yuning is also incomparably beautiful. Why don't you seek refuge with her? The little princess asked again. She looked innocent, but she was actually very meticulous. To be honest, I beat up Ji Ping yesterday and was just chased out by the first princess. Lu Ming didn't hide anything and recounted what had happened. Lu Ming was very clear that this matter could not be concealed even if he wanted to. As long as the little princess sent someone to investigate, it would not be difficult to find out. Oh, I didn't expect such a thing to happen. This time Yuning has made a mistake. I wonder what her expression will be when she finds out that you have a king body during the competition. Interesting, interesting. The little princess laughed again and said, there must be a condition for you to join me, right? I need the little princess to introduce me to the royal family of the ancient devil kingdom. Also, I'll only be the little princess's guest for a few months. Lu Ming said. Alright, that's easy. Soon we'll be heading to the ancient devil kingdom. I know a few princes and princesses of the ancient devil kingdom. I can introduce you to them. The little princess agreed without hesitation. She then looked at the others and said, regarding Lu Ming's matter, none of you should tell anyone. Yes. The two young men and the bulky guard nodded their heads in response. You may leave. I'll arrange a place for Lu Ming personally, the little princess said. The two young men and the burly gatekeeper bowed and left. Only Lu Ming and the little princess were left in the main hall. You didn't use your full strength just now, did you? You said that you could help me win. I'd like to see how strong you are. As soon as the little princess finished her words, her body floated towards Lu Ming like a black cloud. At the same time, the little princess waved her hand and a black light shrouded Lu Ming. Peak Absolute Saint. As soon as the little princess attacked, Lu Ming could see her cultivation level. Like him, she was at the peak Absolute Saint. Lu Ming activated the law of formations and pointed out a finger. A real dragon roared and pounced out. It was formed by the runes of the formation Tao. Boom. The true dragon and the little princess's black light collided with a loud boom. Then countless runes spread out towards the little princess. Judgment. The little princess lightly shouted. Black light burst forth, obliterating the endless runes. Law of Judgment. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. The Law of Judgment was an extremely terrifying law of kings. It was said to be able to judge everything, and its offensive power was shocking. Again. The little princess went up and fought with Lu Ming again. Lu Ming activated the law of formations and fought with the little princess. Lu Ming didn't use his full strength. Lu Ming's spirit body was definitely much stronger than that of the little princess. His saint power was also stronger than that of the little princess. In fact, Lu Ming had only used the integration of the illusory spirit scroll and the sealing scroll for the 3 scrolls of array formation. He had not added the destruction scroll. Even so, the little princess was still at a disadvantage after dozens of attacks. Awesome, awesome. After exchanging dozens of blows, the little princess retreated and said in a sweet voice, Lu Ming, you're not weak. However, Ji Tian from the Ji family also has a king body and his cultivation has reached perfected absolute saint. I'm afraid he's stronger than you. How do you know, little princess? I used my full strength just now. Lu Ming smiled. You didn't use your full strength? So you're looking down on me? The little princess pouted. Lu Ming couldn't help but touch his nose. The little princess's temper was really changeable. Lu Ming couldn't help but think of someone. Xian Yanqing. The little princess's temper was similar to Xian Yanqing's. Little Qing, where are you now? Lu Ming couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Back then, Patriarch Ice Dragon had taken Xian Yanqing away. It had been a few years since then and there had been no news of them. This made Lu Ming very worried. Lu Ming, just you wait. I'm going to reach the peak absolute saint realm soon. I'll spar with you then. As she spoke, the little princess showed her 2 canine teeth again and glared at Lu Ming. Let's go. I'll arrange a place for you to stay. The little princess's expression changed very quickly. A moment ago she was still threatening Lu Ming, but in the next moment she walked out of the hall. Lu Ming followed closely behind. After the little princess arranged a courtyard for Lu Ming, she left. There were still 20 days before the competition between the Yu family and the Luo family. She had to reach the peak absolute saint realm in these 20 days. In the following days, Lu Ming was very relaxed and cultivated in peace. As for the Ji family, they sent people to search for Lu Ming in the capital, but they couldn't find any clues. This made Ji Ping furious. Just like that, 20 days passed in the blink of an eye. Chapter 2032. At the center of the Yura Kingdom's capital, there was a huge battle stage. There were many seats around the battle stage and there was also a large empty space. On this day there was a sea of people around the battle stage. The Yura Kingdom was founded by 2 great clans. Every 10,000 years, the Yura Kingdom would be decided by which clan would control the Yura Kingdom. Therefore, this was the biggest event in the Yura Kingdom in the past 10,000 years. Countless people were gathered here. In all directions there was a dense crowd of people. Lu Ming and the Luo clan were sitting on the east side of the battle stage. The spectators were all experts from the Luo clan. Lu Ming looked around and saw that there were many void emperors and true emperors. The father of the little princess Luo Xian was sitting at the front. On the west side of the battle stage there were people from the Yu clan. At this moment, both sides were sizing each other up. That Lu Ming actually sided with Luo Xian. Damn it! Ji Ping shouted angrily when he saw Lu Ming. Ji Tian and Yu Ning also looked at Lu Ming. There was a cold glint in their eyes. The Ji clan is really useless. I already kicked Lu Ming out, but they still couldn't find him. Instead they let him side with Luo Xian. Yu Ning's eyes flashed coldly as she roared in her heart. Lu Ming's battle strength was very strong. He could easily defeat Ji Peng. This would affect the outcome of this competition. When she kicked Lu Ming out, she already thought that Lu Ming would side with Luo Xian in a fit of anger. However, she also knew that as long as she kicked Lu Ming out, the Ji clan wouldn't let Lu Ming go. Lu Ming would most likely be killed by the Ji clan. He wouldn't have a chance to side with Luo Xian. She didn't expect the Ji clan to be so useless. Lu Ming actually managed to escape and side with Luo Xian. During the competition, if there's a chance, we must kill Lu Ming. Yu Ning transmitted her voice to Ji Tian and Ji Peng. Don't worry. If that brat meets me, I'll make him die miserably. Ji Tian spoke, his killing intent cold. If he touches me, I'll make him wish he was dead. A yellow-robed youth said coldly. The yellow-robed youth's name was Huang Song. In the Yura kingdom, Huang Song was the strongest person aside from the king body. He was ranked first among the 10 strongest geniuses. He was much stronger than Ji Peng. Yu Ning, Ji Tian, and the rest were sizing up Lu Ming's group. Lu Ming, Luo Xian, and the rest were also sizing each other up. According to the old rules, each side will send out 50 sky prides to fight one-on-one. In the end, the side that wins will be the winner. Luo Xian transmitted his voice to everyone. Lu Ming nodded. This rule was simple. This time in the younger generation, both sides have 2 king bodies. Their cultivation levels are about the same, so the battle between the king bodies is very likely to result in both sides suffering losses. Therefore, the battle between the non-king bodies is very important. Luo Xian continued. When he mentioned the king body, he did not include Lu Ming. The news that Lu Ming had a king body had not spread out yet. However, other than the king body, there is one person you must be careful of. That is Huang Song. Although he doesn't have a king body, his combat strength is very strong. He had a fortuitous encounter that made his spiritual body stronger than the average spiritual body. Moreover, his divine ability is very profound. You must be careful when you encounter him. Luo Xian warned. Many people nodded. They were naturally aware of Huang Song's methods. At this time, a figure flew up to the stage. This person was very old. He was one of the Yura Kingdom's doyens and also the judge of this competition. The participants of this competition will go up to the stage first. The doyen spoke, his voice like a bell. Let's go up. Luo Xian stood up first and the rest followed suit. Yu Ning, Ji Tian, and the rest also went up to the stage. Each side had 50 people. As long as they were under the age of 50, they could participate. As soon as they stepped onto the stage, Ji Peng, Ji Tian, and Huang Song glared coldly at Lu Ming. Brat, you better pray that you don't meet me. Otherwise you'll die miserably. The first to speak was Huang Song. His eyes revealed a cruel smile. On Luo Xian's side, some people's faces changed. Huang Song's methods were extremely cruel. Many of his enemies had died miserably. Lu Ming, you shouldn't have sided with Luo Xian. Yu Ning said coldly. I shouldn't have sided with you. Don't tell me I have to do as you say and be killed by the Ji family after being expelled by you? What a joke. Lu Ming said indifferently. Big sister Yu Ning, you don't like Lu Ming, but I treat him like a treasure. I hope you won't be surprised later, he. Luo Xian laughed. Yu Ning's face was cold, but she didn't say anything. Next, the doyens assigned numbers. On each side there were numbers 1 to 50. Then, the doyens placed the 50 numbers into a box and randomly drew them. Whichever 2 numbers were drawn would be the 2 people who would fight. Lu Ming's number was 31. After the numbers were assigned, everyone returned to their respective stands. As for the doyens, they each drew a number from the 2 boxes. Luo family's number 6, Yu family's number 39. The doyens announced their names. In the next instant, 2 figures rushed onto the stage and began to fight. There was no suspense in this battle. The Yu family obtained victory. This was because the Yu family members' cultivation was clearly higher. With just a few moves, he heavily injured the Luo family member and sent him flying off the stage. The Yu family obtained victory in the first battle. The Yu family members revealed smiles on their faces. The Doyens continued to draw numbers. In the second battle, the Luo family members' cultivation was stronger and obtained victory. The third battle. Luo family's number 31, Yu family's number 5. The Doyens announced their numbers. It's my turn so soon. Lu Ming's heart stirred. He stood up and rushed onto the stage. The Yu family member was a tall and sturdy youth. However, when he saw Lu Ming, his face turned gloomy. Just a moment ago, Yu Ning had transmitted a message to him. She had told him that Lu Ming had defeated Ji Peng. She had told him to exchange a few moves with Lu Ming and exhaust some of Lu Ming's saint energy before admitting defeat. Since Lu Ming had defeated Ji Peng, the tall and sturdy youth knew that he wasn't a match for Lu Ming. "Brat, eat my axe." The tall and sturdy youth roared. He raised his battle axe and charged towards Lu Ming. His goal was to exhaust some of Lu Ming's saint energy. Zzz, a sizzling sound came from Lu Ming's hand. Black demonic lightning flashed. Following that, Lu Ming blasted out a palm. The demonic lightning formed a huge palm and blasted towards the tall and sturdy youth. Boom. The tall and sturdy youth's body was directly sent flying. He flew out of the stage and vomited a large mouthful of blood. This brat has some strength. It's more fun to kill him like this. Huang Song licked his lips. The ferocious expression on his face became even more intense. As for Luo Xian and the purple rogue youth, who had seen Lu Ming in action before, they were dumbfounded. What's going on? The demonic lightning law. Didn't Lu Ming use the law of Array Dao back then? How did it become the demonic lightning law? Could it be that he has mastered two types of law? Luo Xian and the others revealed looks of disbelief. Chapter 2033. After defeating his opponent, Lu Ming returned to the stands. Luo Xian glanced at Lu Ming from time to time. He felt that Lu Ming wasn't as simple as he seemed. The competition continued. Luo Xian and the purple rogue youth fought one after another and won easily. In addition, the Luo family had a king body. He defeated his opponent in one move. On the Yu family's side, Yu Ning and Ji Tian also won easily. Ji Peng also won. As for Huang Song, he was even more merciless, showing no mercy at all. In an instant, he tore apart a genius from the Luo clan. He stood on the battle platform, bathed in blood, resembling a ferocious beast of slaughter. On the Luo family's side, other than Lu Ming and a few others, everyone's expression changed. Soon the first round was over. Both sides had 50 people each. However, after the first round, there was a gap in the number of people on both sides. The Yu family had ruled the Yura kingdom for 20,000 years. They had a deep foundation. Naturally, there were more geniuses who joined them. Therefore, after the first round, the Yu family had gained the upper hand. After the first round, the Yu family had 28 people left. As for the Luo family, they had only 18. Why didn't the total number of people on both sides add up to 50? It was because in the process of the battle, both sides had suffered injuries. Therefore, the total number of people on both sides was naturally less than 50. The second round was the same as the first round. The remaining people on both sides were placed in the box and drawn. The two people who were drawn would fight each other. This way, the side with more people would definitely have an advantage. This was because the side with more people didn't need to fight. They could conserve their strength and saint power. In the second round, Lu Ming also fought very early. However, his opponent wasn't strong and was easily defeated. After that, Luo Xian and another genius with a king body also won. Yu family's number 3 against the Luo family's number 5. At this time, Elder Yuan's voice sounded again. It's the two of them. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. The Yu family's number 3 was Huang Song. The Luo family's number 5 was the purple rogue youth who had tried to test Lu Ming. His name was Wuxia. Shua. Huang Song's figure appeared on the stage. He looked at Wuxia with a sinister expression and shouted, "Ha Wuxia, I didn't expect it to be you. Hurry up and accept your death." Wuxia stood up with a solemn face. Among the top 10 young cultivators outside of the king body, Huang Song was ranked first, and Wuxia was ranked 5th. In their previous battles, he was definitely not Huang Song's opponent. If you can't win, just admit defeat. Your life is more important. Luo Xian sent a message to Wuxia. Wuxia nodded and rushed into the Colosseum. The two of them immediately clashed. Huang Song's battle prowess was indeed stronger than Wuxia's. Huang Song's spirit body seemed to be stronger than the average superior heaven spirit body. His attacks were like a violent storm, and he was like a ferocious savage beast, crazily attacking Wuxia. For a moment, Wuxia could only defend passively. But after a few moves, Huang Song clawed at him and tore off a piece of flesh from his body. Die die haha. Upon encountering fresh blood, Huang Song seemed to become even more excited. Traces of blood-red light appeared in his eyes, and his attacks became even more violent. Wuxia roared. After using his strongest move, he rushed down the fighting ring. He knew that he was no match for Huang Song. If he continued to fight, his life would be in danger. He could only rush down the fighting ring and admit defeat. However, Huang Song obviously did not want to let him off so easily. You want to leave? Die. Huang Song roared. Shwa, shwa. Claw shadows covered the sky and enveloped Wuxia. Puchi. Blood splattered everywhere and flesh flew everywhere. One of Wuxi's arms was torn off by Huang Song. Wuxia endured the pain and rushed down the fighting ring. What a piece of trash. You don't even have the courage to fight to the death. I think you should admit defeat as soon as possible. Huang Song sneered and looked mockingly at the Luo family's geniuses. Many of them had ugly expressions, but at the same time, they revealed a look of fear. Even Wuxia had been defeated so miserably. On their side, other than the two king bodies, there was no one who could fight with Huang Song. If they encountered Huang Song, it would be difficult for them to even survive. The morale of the remaining geniuses was somewhat low. Huang Song's gaze swept coldly at Lu Ming. He sneered and returned to the stands. The competition continued. Not long after, the second round of the competition also ended. The difference in numbers between the two sides was even greater. The Yu family still had 19 people while the Luo family only had 9. In the second round, the Yu family had 10 people who did not need to fight. It looks like the Yu family still has the absolute advantage in this competition. The Yu family has ruled the Yura kingdom for 20,000 years. They are getting stronger and stronger. Naturally, more geniuses will join them. That's right. Although both sides have two king bodies, the Luo family is too far behind. Many people were discussing this. Some of the Yu family's experts had smiles on their faces. As for the Luo family's experts, their faces were gloomy. With this defeat, their Luo family would have to wait another 10,000 years. Soon the third round began. The remaining 9 geniuses of the Luo family were all quite strong. Thus, their chances of winning in the third round increased. It was unknown whether Lu Ming's luck was good or bad, but the opponent he faced in this round wasn't strong. He was easily defeated by Lu Ming. In this round, 6 of the Luo family's 9 geniuses won, and 3 were eliminated. As for the Yu family, 6 of them were eliminated. Only 13 remained. 13 people against 6. Following this, the fourth round began. The Yu family's number 1 versus the Luo family's number 1. The Yura kingdom's doyen pulled out 2 numbers. He was stunned for a moment before he announced the numbers. As soon as the announcement was made, the crowd went into an uproar. Many people became excited. This was because the numbers on both sides were Yuning and Luo Xian. They were the eldest and youngest princesses of the Yura kingdom. They were the 2 most outstanding women of the Yura kingdom's younger generation. Not only were their talents outstanding, but their cultivation talent was even more shocking. They both had king bodies. Now, these 2 beautiful princesses were going to face each other. Who would emerge victorious? Many people were looking forward to it. The 2 of them stood up and jumped onto the stage. Their gazes met, and it was as if divine swords were clashing. Sister Luo Xian, I will make you accept your defeat wholeheartedly. Yuning smiled. Her face was still cold and arrogant. That's exactly what I wanted to say. I will defeat you. I will defeat all of you. Luo Xian opened her mouth, revealing 2 canine teeth. Following this, the 2 of them moved and started fighting. As soon as the 2 of them attacked, they used their divine abilities. The laws of king bodies clashed in the air, causing rumbling sounds to ring out continuously. In the blink of an eye, the 2 of them had exchanged dozens of blows. There was no clear winner. Sister Luo Xian, so that's all you've got? It seems like you're going to lose. Yuning smiled. Then the aura on her body skyrocketed. Princess Yuning has reached the peak of the Paragon Saint realm. Previously, she was the same as Princess Luo Xian. She had always been at the peak of the Paragon Saint realm. I didn't expect her to break through now. I wonder if Princess Luo Xian has broken through. Otherwise, she's going to lose. Many people exclaimed. This was especially so for the Luo family. Their expressions were grave. Chapter 2034. Sister Luo Xian, how are you going to fight me now? Yuning sneered. She stepped forward and a powerful aura pressed down on Luo Xian. A month ago she was still a peak Paragon Saint, but recently her cultivation had reached the peak of the Paragon Saint realm. She stood at the peak of the Yura Kingdom. Ji Tian, who used to be the #1 genius of the Yura Kingdom, was only at the peak of the Paragon Saint realm. Do you think you're going to win? Luo Xian's voice rang out. Boom. Then a powerful aura burst out of Luo Xian's body. Luo Xian's cultivation was also at the peak of the Paragon Saint realm, but now he had reached the peak of the Paragon Saint realm. Yuning's expression changed. She exclaimed, "You've also broken through." Of course. Do you think you're the only one who has broken through? Luo Xian smiled. So what if I've broken through? I'll still defeat you. Yuning said coldly as she charged toward Luo Xian. The two princesses clashed again. Both of them had king bodies, and their cultivation had reached the peak of the Paragon Saint realm. Their battle was shocking. Ordinary boundary emperors were no match for them. Only two afterimages could be seen on the stage. Those with weaker cultivations couldn't even see them clearly. It seems like neither of them has the upper hand. Lu Ming was paying attention to the battle on the stage. He noticed that Yuning and Luo Xian's cultivation and battle power were on par. They seemed to know each other very well and they were in a stalemate. Boom. Boom. Soon the two of them had exchanged hundreds of blows. At this point their bodies were emitting white smoke. They circulated their saint power to the extreme, and they exchanged a few more blows, but they were still evenly matched. Their breathing became heavier and their speed became slower. This was a sign of extreme exhaustion. However, both of them were very stubborn. Neither of them wanted to lose to the other, so they gritted their teeth and continued to fight. Towards the end, their attacks became slower and slower. It was as if they were moving in slow motion. Brother Luo, it'll be disadvantageous for them if they continue fighting. Why don't we end this battle in a draw? The head of the Yu family, who was also the current ruler of the Yura Kingdom, looked at the head of the Luo family. All right, let's end this battle in a draw. The head of the Luo family nodded. If they continued to fight, both sides would suffer. If they overdraft themselves too much, it wouldn't be good for either of them. The Luo family head and the Yu family head nodded. The figures of the Yura Kingdom's elders moved and appeared in front of Yuning and Luo Xian, blocking them. This round is considered a draw. All of you can go back and rest, Senior Yuan said. Yuning and Luo Xian glared at each other and snorted coldly. Then they returned to the stands and swallowed the medicinal pills. While refining the medicinal pills, they continued to watch the competition. In the next battle, it was the turn of the Luo family's other king body. He easily defeated his opponent. Yu family's number 3 against Luo family's number 31. After the Luo family's king physique was sent out, the elder reported his number. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. It was his turn. Also, wasn't Yu family's number 3 Huang Song? Lu Ming stood up with a cold smile on his face. The eyes of Luo Xian, Wu Shi and the others glittered. Others might not know, but they knew that Lu Ming was a king physique. Back then he had easily defeated Wu Shi. His combat strength was definitely above Huang Song's. I will avenge you. Lu Ming patted Wu Shi's shoulder and stepped onto the stage. Haha, I finally met this kid. Huang Song was overjoyed. His face was ferocious and excited. Since Princess Yuning wanted to kill Lu Ming, he naturally had to deal with Lu Ming for her. Huang Song, don't kill him so easily. It's best if he begs for mercy on the stage before killing him. Ji Peng glared at Lu Ming and said to Huang Song. Haha, that's exactly what I wanted. Huang Song laughed and rushed onto the stage. He stared at Lu Ming and said, Kid, kneel down and beg for mercy. I might give you a quick death. He thought that he would see a look of horror on Lu Ming's face, but he was disappointed. Lu Ming had a spurious smile. He looked at Huang Song and said, Pathetic. Huang Song's face darkened. Kid, what did you say? I said that you don't even know that your life is coming to an end. How pathetic. Lu Ming added. Haha, kid, you're saying that you can kill me? I'd like to see where you get your confidence from. Huang Song hollered. As soon as he finished his words, his figure dashed toward Lu Ming. His claws were like knives grabbing toward Lu Ming. Huang Song was also wearing a kind of glove. This glove was like mercury. It wrapped around his hand and could change its shape at will. His fingertips were extremely sharp. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Black thunderbolts flashed on Lu Ming's palm as he blasted his palm toward Huang Song. He's only a peak absolute saint. How dare he fight Huang Song head-on? He's courting death. Huang Song's spiritual body is very powerful. Even a peak absolute saint wouldn't dare to fight Huang Song head-on. This kid is just courting death. It looks like Huang Song wants to kill him. He's done for. Lu Ming's attack caused a commotion. However, in the next moment all the sounds disappeared. This was because Lu Ming and Huang Song had collided. Boom. A figure wailed and flew far away. He fell to the ground. It wasn't Lu Ming who everyone thought it was, but Huang Song. Huang Song was sent flying 100 meters and fell to the ground. His body was twitching and lightning was all over him. On the other hand, Lu Ming didn't move at all. Oh, how is this possible? Lu Ming was only a peak absolute saint. How could he send Huang Song flying with one move? Lu Ming didn't have a king body. How is this possible? In the stands, Ji Ping roared in disbelief. Lu Ming was strong enough to defeat him, but they didn't think that Lu Ming could defeat Huang Song. Huang Song was almost unbeatable at the same level, except for those with a king body. Plus, Huang Song's cultivation was higher. Yuning's face also darkened. Even Luo Xian, Wu Shi and the others were shocked. They guessed that Lu Ming could defeat Huang Song, but only if Lu Ming used the Law of Kings. But now, Lu Ming had defeated Huang Song without using the Law of Kings at all. This was beyond their expectations. Of course, they did not know that Lu Ming's spirit body was far superior to ordinary high-grade spirit bodies. Besides, he had cultivated 2 sacred hearts. His sacred power was far superior to that of a perfected absolute saint. Even if he did not use the Law of the King, he could easily defeat Huang Song. Lu Ming stepped forward and approached Huang Song. He looked down at him and said, "Didn't you want to kill me? Come." Huang Song looked at Lu Ming. He didn't look ferocious anymore. Instead, he looked terrified. With a roar, he charged down the battle platform. He wanted to admit defeat, but Lu Ming wouldn't let him do that. Crack. Chapter 2035. Huang Song roared as he used all his strength to block Lu Ming's lightning spear. However, the spear vibrated as if it was indestructible. Chila. The lightning spear pierced through Huang Song's attack, piercing through his shoulder and dragging Huang Song along as he slid a distance away. Huang Song roared in fear and rushed in another direction, wanting to rush down the stage. He no longer had the heart to continue fighting. At this moment, there was only fear in his heart. Lu Ming's battle strength was too strong, exceeding his expectations. His battle intent had already collapsed. As a result, he was even less of a match for Lu Ming. Swish, swish. Lu Ming's figure flashed as the black spear stabbed out continuously. Finally, it pierced through Huang Song's left leg and nailed him to the ground. Trash. You don't even have the courage to fight. Where's your arrogance from before? Lu Ming stepped forward and stepped on Huang Song's face, looking down on him. Previously, Huang Song was incomparably arrogant. When he defeated Wu Shi, he said that Wu Shi was trash who didn't even have the courage to fight. But now he was facing Lu Ming. Wasn't he the same? Now Lu Ming had returned those words to him. It was incomparably ironic. "Eldest princess, save me." Huang Song roared, begging Princess Yuning for help. "Lu Ming, stop when you're ahead. Don't go too far." At this moment, Princess Yuning spoke. "Nonsense." Lu Ming looked at Princess Yuning and reprimanded her. "Are you blind or deaf? Why didn't you tell Huang Song not to go overboard when he killed our people? Also, it was Huang Song who said that he wanted to kill me. Why didn't you stop him?" Lu Ming's sarcastic voice resounded throughout the entire place. This made Princess Yuning's expression extremely ugly. "Impudent? Who do you think you are? How dare you speak to the princess like this? I'll cripple you." An expert from the Yu family shouted, erupting with a powerful aura. "What are you doing?" The Luo family head said coldly, sweeping his gaze over the Yu family expert. The latter's expression changed greatly. "Brother, you don't break the rules." The Luo family head said coldly. "Sit down." The Yu family head glanced at the Yu family expert. The Yu family expert could only withdraw his aura and obediently withdraw. The conflict between the two clans happened once every 10,000 years. It had been countless years, so there were naturally rules. No one else was allowed to interfere. Otherwise, the Senate of the Yura Kingdom would declare the party that broke the rules to be the loser. "This kid is interesting," the head of the Luo family said with a smile. That was a good scolding. Luo Xian laughed loudly as if he had vented his anger. This made Princess Yuning's expression turn even uglier. "Now I'll send you on your way." Lu Ming looked at Huang Song. No, Huang Song struggled with all his might, his eyes filled with terror. However, Lu Ming's long spear descended and directly pierced through his glabella, killing Huang Song. Many people at the scene heaved a sigh of relief. Huang Song was dead. He was killed by an unknown young man. This was the strongest genius in the Yura kingdom outside of the king physique. However, he was killed in a few moves by Lu Ming. This made everyone fearful of Lu Ming's combat strength. How is this kid so strong? How is he so strong? Ji Peng was incomparably terrified. Don't worry. If this kid meets me, I'll avenge Huang Song. Ji Tian said coldly, staring coldly at Lu Ming. Lu Ming seemed to have sensed something. He looked back at Ji Tian, smiled faintly and returned to the spectator stand. There's hope. At this moment, some of the Luo family's experts' eyes lit up as they saw hope. Although they were few in number, they saw hope now. This was because each side had a king physique. If before Lu Ming met Ji Tian, the two people with the king physique would encounter each other first. If like Yu Ning and Luo Xian both of them suffered injuries, then they would have a chance of winning. If the king physique on both sides were injured, then who on the Yu family's side could be Lu Ming's opponent? Lu Ming alone could wipe out the other side. Obviously the Yu family's people also thought of this point, and their faces were gloomy. Because of Lu Ming, the situation where they were sure to win had turned into an unpredictable trend. Don't worry, they won't have a chance. Ji Tian said confidently. Could it be that you have already? Yu Ning seemed to have thought of something and her face lit up. That's right. Ji Tian nodded. Yu Ning was ecstatic and she let out a long breath. This way they would definitely win. If you meet that Lu Ming, kill him for me. Yu Ning transmitted her voice to Ji Tian. If it was like what Ji Tian said, then Lu Ming would meet Ji Tian sooner or later. Everyone had different thoughts in their hearts, but the competition still continued. When this round ended, on the Luo family's side, there were only 3 people left. On the Yu family's side, there were only 9 people left. A new round had begun. This round didn't attract too much attention. Lu Ming easily defeated his opponent, and so did the Luo family's king physique. But on the Luo family's side, another person was defeated by the opponent. In this way the Luo family only had 2 people left. On the Yu family's side, there were only 7 people left. Yu family's number 2, Luo family's number 2. When Elder Yuan announced the numbers, everyone became excited. Finally it was time for the main event. The Yu family's number 2 was Ji Tian, and the Luo family's number 2 was Long Yan. The 2 king physiques were going to fight again. In the past, Ji Tian was known as the number 1 person among the younger generation in the Yura kingdom. His cultivation had long reached the peak of the Paragon Saint realm. But Long Yan might not be weaker than him, and his cultivation had long reached the peak of the Paragon Saint realm. The last time they fought was a few years ago. At that time the two of them exchanged hundreds of moves, and in the end Long Yan lost to Ji Tian by a single move. But a few years had passed and anything could happen. The current Ji Tian might not be able to defeat Long Yan. They're finally going to fight. The eyes of the Luo family's experts lit up, and their faces were filled with joy. Finally, before Lu Ming met Ji Tian, the 2 king physiques would fight. This was what they wanted to see, and it was also their only hope of winning. As long as Ji Tian and Long Yan were injured, Lu Ming would be able to defeat the remaining people of the Yu family. Then the Luo family would be able to win this time. Long Yan, we don't want to win this battle, but we can't let Ji Tian win. The Luo family's head transmitted to Long Yan. Long Yan nodded and stepped onto the battle stage. Ji Tian also stepped onto the battle stage. Long Yan, you weren't my match a few years ago. Today you won't be my match either. Ji Tian said confidently. He had a strong belief that he was invincible. Not necessarily. Long Yan said indifferently. Then he took a step forward and terrifying flames spread out from his body. This flame was an extremely terrifying flame law called the Destruction Heavenly Flame Law. It was also a kind of king law. 6 hells. Ji Tian whispered. 6 worlds seemed to appear around his body. One was a sea of blood, one was boundless demonic chi, and one was filled with killing intent. So it's the 6 hells law. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.